up on the moon. Up until
Yeah,
3 years ago, I was saying, yeah, I hope America sits the
yeah,
base on the moon because they're the only ones capable of doing it.
Project Artemis.
And there's no way. If,
Right,
if they could get to
Pig,
the moon,
let me ask you a
50
question,
years,
Liz.
60 years, what?
Someone in my
Do
chat's
I?
asking you a
Go ahead.
question.
You
He
ask
says,
for.
can
Do I?
you, someone in my chat's asking a question. He says, when did you start believing in flat Earth and where did you first hear about it?
I heard about, I already said this. No, tell your chat to keep up and listen. I already said 2 or 3 times, 3 years ago, I believed the earth was a globe. I
So
already
3
said
years
that.
ago
That's
you got
probably the
green
fourth
pepper
or fifth time I said that. Now, what got me, where did I see it? I was seeing these flat earth videos on YouTube. I was like, they're crazy. I sat
They
for
are.
6 months and watched this. They're crazy. And then I come across this one video, 75 Bible verses that prove the earth is flat. I was like, oh, buddy, you made a statement. You better be right.
There isn't one
I got
single verse that says the earth is flat.
yeah, there is. Oh,
No,
it don't
there's
say it's flat, but it describes
exactly.
the flat earth over
No, it
250
doesn't.
times.
No, it doesn't. Not once.
Yes, it does.
No,
Yes,
it
it
doesn't.
does.
Not
Well,
once.
see, that's the problem. You don't believe God. I do, and my God is right. My God told me, and that once I got to that
Got
third
any
verse,
evidence
I
of this
became a
God?
flat earther. So you can't tell me God does not
I
describe a flat earth when
I
all the
can because
people,
God
hold
isn't
on a
real.
minute, when Paul, Rachie, Luther, y'all, many people in here have come to the flat earth through scripture. So you cannot honestly
I
sit
can.
there and say,
I
the Bible
100%.
does not flat earth.
It doesn't.
Hold on, I'm not done yet. The Bible does not describe a flat earth when over 204 verses describe it, just like that one verse. As
Not
lightning
one
in
verse
the east
describes it.
will be seen in the west.
Why is it, Pig, that 99.99999% of people that believe in the Bible don't think the earth is flat?
Oh, okay. See, I was going to hit on this too. I don't believe the church either. I do not believe the church. I believe the Bible.
But you don't
The
believe
church lies to us. The church lies to us. The school lied to us, and because if you look
I
it
didn't
up,
say the
John
church.
Milton,
I said 99.99999% of people that believe in the Bible.
no, not 99.999%. No,
Yeah,
no.
100%. Absolutely.
Nope.
You're a tiny
Where's your
tiny
study on
minority,
that?
Pig.
Where's your study on that?
I've asked plenty of people, and 99.99999% of them. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
a
but
study
see,
is.
a lot of people don't think Jesus Christ's second coming has happened, and it has.
No, it hasn't. And again, you do realize that the entire
Yes, it has.
Jesus story was
I will show you
literally.
scripture in the
Hold on,
Bible.
hold on. You do realize that the entire Jesus story was lifted wholesale from previous religions, right?
Yeah. See, that's just it. You don't want to put your faith in God. That's where you're coming.
Why should I?
Yeah,
Why should I put my faith in a magic thing that doesn't exist?
You put your faith in books man wrote you've never met or going.
I don't have any faith. I have empirical evidence of everything I say.
No, you don't, because
I
God
do.
said it's flat, and there's no way
No,
you
he
can
didn't.
convince me any different. Because my God said it's
Well,
flat, and
then-
I'll take my God's word over you, just like I'll take Neil deGrasse Tyson's word over yours. No offense.
Neil deGrasse Tyson doesn't think the Earth's flat, and God, for one,
And
I
that
don't
he
think
did.
is real, and he never said the Earth is flat.
He said it's flat at 128,000 miles up, and his balloon was only 127,000 miles up.
Yeah, and
Now,
it does look pretty
Tyson
flat,
said-
but measurements.
Tyson, hold on a minute.
Measurements.
Tyson-
Tyson says
Yeah,
the Earth's a
it's wrong.
globe, and measurements say the Earth is a globe.
You're twisting my words. Pay attention. I'll speak slower.
I'm
Neil deGrasse Tyson says at 128,000 foot, you ain't gonna see any curvature. He's worked for NASA. I
He
take
didn't
his
say
word
you ain't
over
gonna say.
YouTube
He didn't say you ain't
Now,
gonna see
if
any
you wanna-
curvature. He
if
said
you wanna
that
dispute-
shit is
if
flat.
you want to dispute his word, you're going to have to call Neil deGrasse
Yeah,
Tyson.
that
and
that
tell
wasn't
him,
his words.
"You
You've
better
just
start
misquoted
talking."
him.
Do what?
You've
See, I
just
couldn't hear
misquoted.
because I was talking and you was
Yeah.
trying to talk. So that's what happened.
You've just misquoted Neil deGrasse Tyson. Though he didn't say that.
He said you don't see any curvature at 2 millimeters off this ball, and 128,000 foot is 2 millimeters. He says you don't see curvature on this beach ball at 2 millimeters.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. That's his very words. I got him. I got him recorded saying it. You don't see curvature.
He
at
didn't say
millimeters
that
off
the
this
Earth
ball.
isn't a globe. And again, he was just talking like colloquially. You know, You can't see it if you just look
No.
like that. But if you measure it, if you place it against something that is predicted, you can quite clearly see there is a curve. And once again, Neil deGrasse Tyson isn't a god.
Oh, I know he's not.
Draco-
He worships the sun god.
No,
He's,
there's no. He doesn't really.
Ah!
He doesn't worship anything.
Yeah, that guy with the sun on it, that's pagan sun god worship.
No,
And if you see all these
no, we don't.
astronauts, hold on.
We don't
You
have
see all
any
these NASA
sun worship.
Hold on a minute.
You can't
Hold
lie
on a
about
minute.
us, Pig. You don't get to lie about us.
I'm not lying about you.
You are.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not, dude. I'm telling you.
We
Look
don't
up.
worship anything.
He don't. See, this is. All right, let's go. You know how have you ever looked into Hollywood and their satanic rituals and their satanic ways?
Yeah, it's all quite funny. Also, what's wrong with Satan?
Satan?
Yeah.
Really? You asked
Let me ask you a quick question. Let me ask you a quick question.
Well,
Right?
no. You just
the
asked
Bible-
me a question. You can't ask me two before I can answer one. Now,
Well,
what's
this
wrong
is
with
it's the
Satan?
same. It's the same
He thought
question.
he was awesome.
It's the same question,
I tell
right?
you what. I'm gonna sit back and smoke this cigarette. I guess since it's Mr. FTFE show, go ahead and talk.
No, I'm just saying it's the same question. It's the same question,
Before you start
right?
asking me, here I am talking. Here you are trying to talk. You know what? Remember what happened last time?
I'm just saying it's the
No,
same
listen,
question, right? I want to just clarify the question, okay? Right? In the Bible, who killed more people, God or Satan?
Who didn't listen? Okay. Oh, thank you, Lord Jesus. You know who killed more people? Satan.
In the Bible?
Yes.
No.
Yep.
God killed many more people than Satan in the Bible. Many more
Nope.
people.
Nope.
Really?
Who
So
got Yep.
Satan
Hold
created
on.
a flood to wipe out
You-
humanity, did he?
Y'all see why it went bad. Now listen, if you'll.
It all
let
just
me
happened because
finally
Satan
talk.
and Snake
Now,
Apple.
yes, I will verify Satan killed everybody in the Bible. You don't know how? Surely
The Bible
you shall
disagrees.
not die if you eat this out. That ain't what he said.
Of
Surely
course.
you shall not die.
Oh
You
my
shall be
God.
like gods. Satan killed people in the Bible. He deceived Eve. Adam ate of the apple. Sin entered man. Satan.
So
killed people in the Bible.
Satan was the one that caused the global flood, was he?
Well, if he hadn't tempted Eve and beguiled her, yeah, wouldn't have been no sin.
I'm pretty sure it was God that did the global flood. And talking about Adam and Eve,
Who tempted Eve to eat from the tree? Who tempted Eve to eat from the tree?
talking about Adam and Eve, didn't they have three?
Answer, please. Who tempted
a
Eve
snake?
to eat of the fruit of the tree?
A snake? But
Who?
yeah, a snake which
Who?
is supposed to represent Satan, but that has
said
nothing to
who.
do
I said
with
what.
who
I
killed
said
all the people, right? And
Who?
talking about Adam and Eve,
Who
how many?
did Eve eat of the apple
I
of the fruit?
just answered that
Who?
question. I literally just
No,
answered
you
that
said
question.
what? I asked who.
A serpent.
Who?
A
I didn't
serpent.
say what.
The
Okay.
Bible does not say Satan; it says a serpent.
And it's very clear it's Satan. Very
Does
clear.
it? Yeah, but it doesn't say that. If you ask me who tempted, if you ask me according to the Bible who tempted Eve to eat the apple, the answer is a serpent. But I have a serious
was-
question about Adam and Eve. They apparently
Have you ever
had
had a
three
snake?
sons.
Have you ever had a snake come up and tempt you?
I'm fucking terrified of snakes, so probably not.
Can a snake talk? Can a snake tempt somebody?
Can burning bushes talk?
Oh.
If God's behind it, yes, sir.
Oh, magic, cool. So I do have one serious question about Adam and Eve, though, right?
Or not magic. You might
So-
call it magic. I call it power. It's the power of God Almighty, the
magic.
greatest
Cool.
ever.
But seriously,
No, it's not magic.
serious question about Adam and Eve, right? So Adam and Eve had three sons, right?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Wait. Adam and Eve had two. Adam and Eve had 2. Eve had 3.
So
Yep.
3 sons.
Okay. Eve had 3. Adam had 2.
Oh, cool. Right. So there's 3 sons, right? Which means there's just 3
Well, you asked me a
males.
specific question. I gave you a specific answer.
Yeah. Okay.
You said
now,
how many sons Adam and Eve had. I said
right.
Adam
Okay.
and
All
Eve
right.
had
All right.
2.
There's 3
Eve
sons in
had 3,
total.
Adam and Eve
Okay.
had
All right.
2.
All right. All right. All right. There's 3 sons in total. But now think about
Yeah.
that. 3 sons. Where did humanity come
Yeah.
from?
Well, see, you're
A little bit of incest.
Now, that's where you need to study the Bible.
I don't know if
Noise.
you've had the talk about the birds and the bees, but that's not how that shit works, dude.
See, there's where you're trying to use human. You're comparing God to humans. You can't compare God to humans. When God
Did God not
created
make us in His
man,
image?
When God created man, the inbreeding like you're wanting to insinuate now was not going on. It was not inbreeding back then. It might have been theoretically, but they wasn't inbreeding because God, I don't know how to word it.
Yeah, but where did the
Don't know how
babies
to
come
work.
from? If there was 3
What?
sons, if there was 3 sons, where did the babies come from?
Well, see, God made Adam and Eve, and they started propagating. Then when sin entered Cain, I mean,
It just
I
popped
can't
into
see-
existence,
you
dude.
want to find somebody more studied on scripture than me, yeah.
Boop.
They will explain it better. But I'm gonna tell you, look here, First
Where
John
did-
3:12, not as Cain, who was of that wicked one.
No, nobody
Who was
explains
brother.
it better because
Wherefore
it's
slew
all
he him,
bullshit.
Because his own works were evil, and his brother's righteous. Not
It's
as
all
Cain,
just,
who was
God
of
did
that
it.
wicked one.
Yeah,
Nah.
cool. I don't think you're
GG.
getting what I'm saying here.
Good
So,
job, though, dude.
When I made my children, I had to do a very specific thing with my wife, which required a male and a female. There was 3 sons.
So
they were male.
You're putting earthly things. You're trying to compare earthly things to God. You cannot compare earthly things to God. That's where
Yeah.
you're failing on it.
Adam and Eve's sons
failing.
weren't God. They were human.
Yes, but you don't
Right.
understand the power of God. That's just it. You don't understand the power of God, so you'll never understand it. You can sit there and say all you want, but you don't understand the power of God. And
So,
until
no,
you understand that,
But how
you're
did
talking
3
in
men? How did 3 men make babies?
circles. God made more people. I mean,
Dude.
Adam was the first. Eve was the second. They
It's
had
so
sons.
funny to
Bible
hear
doesn't
people
say
like that
that.
think,
The
oh, you
Bible
don't
says
understand
that-
it. You're not. No, you're not good
How
enough.
does
Like,
nothing make something?
it's
You wanna
hard
talk
to
about
understand.
reproduction?
No, dude, we do
God created
understand.
the universe.
It's just, it's
Let's
bullshit.
focus on
It's
on
crap.
God right now and the
Shut
3
the
sons
fuck
thing.
up.
I'm not as schooled as most people are on that. If you wanna, if
You
any
are not
comments would-
special.
My comments or stuff. But
Neither are
you
the
wanna
people
talk about
that
more details
disregard
on that,
all
I'll have
your
a more
horse crap.
skilled person on it, but I'm telling you right now, God
I-
created.
I just want to know how 3
Well,
men
maybe you are special
made
because
babies.
you're too fucking blinded by, well,
Go
blind
ask God.
faith.
I'm not a Bible thing.
I can't ask God, He doesn't answer stuff.
Why do people leave all the
I'm
time?
just saying, I trust God
That
110%. There's not a thing.
is so
anybody wants to
strange.
change my
Well, that's a
beliefs.
bit-
You can
so-
sit here and say it all you
So,
want.
so you believe
I can't-
things that are fundamentally
I'm not-
impossible, and
I'm
you
not,
believe
I'm
in
not
magic.
going to put myself wise. I don't know everything. I'll sit here and say it, but other people refuse to sit there and say, I don't know everything. Some people will sit there and talk to me thinking they know everything. But you know for a fact you can't prove nothing exploded and created everything in the universe.
That's
This,
not
wait.
what we say.
Not
know
what
what
the
the
Big
Big
Bang
Bang
is
theory.
about.
You want to talk about 3 men making a baby? How does nothing create Saturn? How does nothing create
that-
the
There
ring?
was
Big-
no
big-
nothing.
how
The
does
Big
nothing
Bang was
create all
everything
the
Let me answer,
already.
let me answer that for you. Let me answer that for you.
Now, see,
Let me answer that
Go
for you.
ahead.
There wasn't nothing. Everything that
Because-
is in. Listen,
Okay.
everything that is
Okay.
in the universe now, all the energy that is in the universe right now, existed at the point of the Big Bang. Nothing was created.
who made it? Who made it?
No idea.
We don't know.
You don't know.
Yes.
No,
So
no
you-
one
you
does.
can't say
No
God-
one claims to
you
know.
can't-
We know
Let's
what
say there
happened
wasn't-
after the Big Bang.
You saying God couldn't snap his fingers and create everything?
Hey, here's the thing, right? I would never say that I could prove God doesn't exist. I don't personally think God exists, right? But I am I am what I refer to as an agnostic atheist, because it is scientifically unsound for me to say there is no proof of of God. God doesn't exist 100%, because I don't know what happened before the Big Bang, as does nobody else. Who's to say that there was some laws of physics? Let me finish. Let me finish what I'm saying. Let me finish what I'm saying. Who's to say that before the Big Bang there wasn't different laws of physics, that a being that we don't understand, couldn't control, that created the Big Bang, right? But when the Big Bang happened, nothing was created, right? That's the thing. All the energy that ever existed in the universe was already there.
Back a trolley up. What'd you say? When the Big Bang, nothing was created?
No, because everything, all the energy already existed.
Well, who created it?
We don't know.
No one knows. That's irrelevant.
Okay, how can they prove the Big Bang? Was you around 15
The
billion
cosmic
years
microwave
ago?
background
Anybody
rate.
around 15 billion knows to prove the Big Bang happened?
The cosmic microwave
Was
background
anybody
radiation
around-
is.
Was anybody around
hold on.
4.3 million years ago to
The
prove
cosmic
anything?
microwave background radiation is the best evidence that we have.
Okay, another question. All the planets are formed in globes, spheres, right?
Yeah, that's called hydrostatic equilibrium.
Why didn't the Earth form as a sphere?
It did.
It did?
Can you not see
Really?
the Earth's a sphere?
Remove the water.
Still a sphere,
It's not a
roughly.
sphere. It's a chewed piece of bubble gum. Battery round.
Are you
Oh
referring
my
to?
God, he's
are you,
so
hold
stupid.
On, please,
No,
please.
Logical common sense.
Are you
remove
referring?
the water,
Are you referring
Earth is
to
not-
this? Are you?
Yes,
referring
he
to
is
this
to
picture?
the gravity map.
Oh, come on. Oh, how did? Okay, now.
Is that the
How
picture
is
that you're
it-
talking about? Because that's
No,
a
no,
gravity
no.
map.
No, that's not it. There's been many pictures. That's the recent picture. They have. If you
That's
take.
but again,
the
that's
globe.
not that's not what
You
the
got
Earth looks
some
like.
out- you
Dude,
got
hold on.
You got-
That's not the Earth
Then-
without water.
Now, see, I stopped to let you talk.
Yeah.
See what
But-
happened last time?
This is. I'm just trying to say that this
Man.
isn't the Earth without water. This is what's called a gravity
No.
map.
So the continents were just sticking up out of the ground.
It's called a gravity map. It is showing where there is higher and lower areas of gravitational acceleration. That's what this
Gravity.
is representing. Yeah.
You know what? They say, they tell us in detail what the core is. They've only gone down less than 8 miles.
Yeah, but seismology
They
exists.
don't know what. Do what?
Seismology exists.
They ain't going to find out what's 4,000 miles deep. They can't even find out what's in the oceans, but you're going to tell us they know what the core of the Earth is?
Yep.
Yeah,
They know
because of
more about
seismology.
space than the oceans on this Earth. They've been on the oceans longer than space.
Yeah, they haven't been under
Come
the
on,
ocean.
man. Come on.
Do you? Right, here we go. Do you believe? Do you believe? Hold on. Do you believe in
They
the?
have time to search. Okay, I will stop since you continue
so you-
wanting to talk while somebody's talking, and please take the floor and bless us with your glorious knowledge.
You keep just going on, so I need to like kind of make the conversation move on. Do you believe in the Mariana Trench?
Pick on something. Now, you wanted to talk about science. Now, I'm going to bring all my beliefs up. Now, if you're going to push mine aside, I'm pushing yours aside. You haven't proven
I've just.
You haven't proven nothing.
Do you
You're saying-
believe in the Mariana
you're saying
Trench?
Something exploded and created everything. You can't
No,
say
that's
that
not
happened.
what I said. That's not what I said. That's
Nobody
not what I
saw-
said.
Nobody was around it, and it was not recorded.
That's not what I
But
said. The
here-
cosmic microwave background radiation is recording of it. But back to my
Man.
question, Pig. Right, back to my question. Do you believe in the Mariana Trench?
Yeah,
Why?
it's supposedly nobody's ever. Well, these scientists talk about. it.
Scientists
So
talk
apparently
about
they should be
space.
telling the truth, right? Scientists should be telling the truth, right?
Do you know how many people have been to the Mariana Trench to the bottom?
3,
Have they been? Man, we ain't got a submarine to go to the depths.
3, 3,
People can
less
ride in.
than they were in space.
You should
doubt
probably
we
Three.
speak to the
Go down
people
there
that have been to the bottom
They
of the
have
Mariana
not-
Trench.
They have not. I was looking through a scientific. I need to change that. I'm gonna mute this. Let me see what somebody. Might be somebody answering a question of yours. Hold on a second. Never mind. But they have not discovered the depths of the ocean. I looked at a scientific article. They have not. They're still trying to research the depths of our ocean, but they know 14 billion light years away. You first search your home, then you go out. They've had more
Oh
time
my
to
god,
search
he's so
than Earth,
fucking stupid.
but they haven't. They don't even know what the depths of the ocean. There's
Yes,
critters down
because
there.
it's really, really
A new
hard to
critter.
do
We
stuff
found a new
down
critter.
there.
Well, apparently they hadn't searched the entire depths of the ocean. If they find a new critter, they're supposed to know everything about this Earth. But there's stuff on this Earth that they can't explain. They've never seen before.
Okay.
They haven't.
So
They can't search the ocean depths.
God, you
How
keep
can they
going.
search space?
So 2 people have been to the bottom of the Mariana Trench.
Oh, it was 2? Oh, fuck, I thought it was 3.
Let me look at depths of the ocean. Depths of the ocean. Have we found? Let me see. I'm trying to find out how to word.
Just I'll tell you what to Google. Do you know who James Cameron is?
Oh, that movie star? That
Movies.
movie producer, I mean?
The director, yeah.
Makes movies, Hollywood?
Yeah. He went to the bottom of the Mariana Trench.
What am I typing?
Back in 1960, oceanographer Don Walsh was the first to make it down the trench successfully.
All right, now I got this and up, 35,000 foot. Let's go see how deep the actual depths are. Deepest parts of the ocean.
Well, you just Google what I just said. How many people have been to the bottom of the Mariana Trench?
Let me see. No, they're off a little bit. But why is science saying they're trying to explore the ocean depths? They will say they haven't found everything. I saw the darn article couple. I wish I'd have saved it. They're still trying to discover.
There's still a lot of the ocean. There's still a lot of the ocean we haven't seen, but they've been to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. But my point here, Pig, right? My entire point here is that 2 people out of all of humanity have been to the bottom of the Mariana Trench, and you believe in it.
And you believe them 2 people you've never met or seen just because they say it.
No, you said you believe it. I asked you, do you believe in the Mariana Trench, and you said yes.
Well, I said I believe in it. Yeah, I didn't say I don't believe them. I said I believe in Mariana Trench. I didn't say I believe James Cameron, the one that sits in Hollywood and makes movies.
So why do you believe
me and you never met?
Why do you believe in the Mariana Trench if you don't think anyone's been there?
Well, science says it's real. If science says it's real,
science says that space is real.
What?
Science says that space is real and the Earth's a globe.
And science is wrong. Because I believe them about stuff on the Earth. They have no clue what's beyond the Earth. They have no clue. Why was they launching nukes in 1962? Why did they? Okay, hold on a minute. Who was his name? Admiral Richard E. Byrd.
Oh God!
They gave him unlimited funds and unlimited time to explore.
Operation Fishball.
He done packed up and come home. Now you know how they love to
bloody cold there.
Unlimited time, and he quit in 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, it's really fucking cold and horrible there.
Well, it's pretty cold. They're still down there. Apparently, it's not too cold because they're still down there.
Who's still down there?
Really? You don't know about the bases they got down there?
Yeah, there's scientific research stations, but you know it's bloody cold. Back when Admiral, listen, let me finish. Back when Admiral Byrd was exploring, they didn't have the heating technologies that they have now.
They don't
also,
need it.
if you want to talk about, and I was going to mention this, but someone in my chat just did.
I've read some of his writings.
I was talking.
I know you've been talking for a while. You know.
Well, no, I've been trying to get a word in edgeways. So, right. If we want to talk about Antarctica, there's a very important thing. I was going to mention this because I was looking at it earlier. But Tommy Gronville's just mentioned it. Going on right now is the Vendée Globe Race, a 3-month sail race around the Antarctica.
It's not going around Antarctica. You can't. Magellan tried that. Captain Cook tried that.
I mean, the race is going on right now. That's literally what they're doing right now.
Pull it up. Okay, are they live straight? Have they got actual video? Is their cameras recording everything? Why don't they put a camera facing forward on these rockets they launch? They never do. Never see a camera facing forward on these rockets. Always backwards. As soon as it gets up and leveled
Rockets?
out,
How have we got to rockets?
they go to a computer-generated video.
No, they don't.
Never show from launch to go to space. Never. Frontwards facing camera. Never. You never question that?
They actually is. Actually, I've shown it before in this channel.
Yes, there are.
No, there's not.
Yes,
There
there is.
Facing down.
I've shown it before in this channel,
Okay.
actually.
That goes fast rocket. Hauling ass up in the sky. All of a sudden, stop.
Cockpit view.
What caused it to stop? Did it hit a cloud?
What caused what to stop?
That go fast rocket. Hauling ass. All of a sudden, it stopped.
That's
hit
called
something.
that's called. It didn't hit anything. That's called a braking maneuver, where they slow it down so that they can release the payload.
Come on, man, come on.
But you not believing it doesn't change anything.
Dude, you going to go from how fast that rocket going? A couple thousand miles an hour to a dead stop in a second.
It wasn't a dead stop.
Way. Everything
It wasn't a dead stop.
Off that rocket.
It wasn't a dead stop.
55 mile an hour, it like killed me.
Dude, it wasn't a dead stop.
To a dead stop. You are not coming to a dead stop and going that fast. You are not. There's no way.
Are you listening?
No way.
Listen. It wasn't a dead stop.
Hey, hold on a minute. I'm not going to raise my voice. Lower your tone a couple octaves, dude.
I've been trying to say the same thing over and over, and you're not listening. It wasn't a dead stop.
Lord.
It wasn't a dead stop.
Oh, let's watch it. Shall we watch it? Let's watch it.
It certainly slowed down, but it wasn't a dead stop.
We're going to watch it. It wasn't a dead stop, but we're going to watch it. Let's find out. Go fast.
Here we go. Cockpit
It
view.
wasn't a dead. No, you just said that. It was not a dead
Wait,
stop.
why does it say that
No,
I'm
it
not
wasn't
wearing
a
the
dead
necklace?
Let's find out exactly what it was. Me pause it. You gotta turn it up. All right, now to share screen. Let's find out exactly.
Ben D, I can't really stop him. He's streaming on his channel as well.
We're gonna watch it. Let's watch.
And it wasn't a dead stop. It's called a braking maneuver.
Braking, you ain't gonna break that fast.
Are you a rocket scientist?
No, but I got common sense. Watch this. Just watch. Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, it stops spinning. It doesn't stop moving.
Hey, stop spinning. That stopped spinning. This ain't the one. This ain't the one. Hold on a minute. That is not the one. You know which one I'm talking about. Don't tell me that's a break. Here we go. There we go.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, a braking maneuver.
Oh, no. No, don't even, dude. Don't even. You said it didn't come to a dead stop.
No, it doesn't. It's a braking maneuver. It stops spinning. That's it.
Dude, no. Oh, my gosh.
Yes, exactly.
If you continue that when this finishes, this conversation's over, man. Watch.
Well,
just watch.
Yeah, watch the braking maneuver on the rocket.
Listen. Dude. It's spinning.
Yeah, and then it stops spinning because of the braking maneuver.
It's still spinning.
It's called a yo-yo D-spin.
It's spinning.
Yep.
It's spinning. It's spinning. It's spinning. Boom! No, that's no braking maneuver.
Yeah,
That's no braking
That's
maneuver.
called a yo-yo D-spin.
All right, I tell you what, we're gonna go ahead and call this over. Because if you think I'm gonna believe that's a braking maneuver,
Yep.
you're.
It's literally called a yo-yo D-spin. There's a maneuver for it. It's
Dude, y'all heard that?
A
Really?
yo-yo D-spin
It's
mechanism
over.
is a device used to reduce the spin of satellites, typically soon after launch. It consists of two lengths of cable with weights on the end. The cables are wrapped around the final stage and/or satellite in the manner of a double yo-yo. When the weights are released, the spin of the rocket flings them away from the spin axis. This transfers enough angular momentum to the weights to reduce the spin of the satellite to the desired value. Subsequently, the weights are often released. These spin is needed since some final stages are spin stabilized and require fairly rapid rotation. It is a known maneuver in rocketry.
Hey, pass it this way. I'd love to have a hit off what you're smoking. Please pass it this way. You said it wasn't a dead stop. It stopped dead.
No, it's called a yo-yo D-spin. Your incredulity doesn't change things.
All right.
Used to reduce the spin of satellite.
It's still spinning.
It's called a yo-yo D-spin.
It's spinning.
Yep.
It's spinning. It's spinning. It's spinning. Boom! No, that's no braking maneuver.
Yeah,
that's no braking.
That's called a yo-yo D-spin.
All right. I tell you what, we're gonna go ahead and call this over. Because if you think I'm gonna believe that's a braking maneuver,
yep,
you're
it's called it's literally called a yo-yo D-spin. There's a maneuver for it. It's
Dude, y'all heard that? Really?
A yo-yo D-spin mechanism is a device used to reduce the spin of satellites, typically soon after launch. It consists of two lengths of cable with weights on the end. The cables are wrapped around the final stage and/or satellite in the manner of a double yo-yo. When the weights are released, the spin of the rocket flings them away from the spin axis. This transfers enough angular momentum to the weights to reduce the spin of the satellite to the desired value. Subsequently, the weights are often released. D-spin is needed since some final stages are spin stabilized and require fairly rapid rotation. It is a known maneuver in rocketry.
Hey, pass it this way. I'd love to have a hit off what you're smoking. Please pass it this way. You said it wasn't a dead stop. It stopped dead.
No, it's called a yo-yo D-spin. Your incredulity doesn't change things.
All right, let's just go ahead and y'all can go gloat, and I know how y'all want to be.
Well done for presenting no evidence. You were very good.
Look. I'm trying to think. Go ahead and take the floor, but it's over with, dude. You said it wasn't a dead stop. It stopped dead. There's no way you're gonna stop.
It stopped spinning.
That fast. No way.
So
I don't care what you say, what kind of BS they fed you. You're not gonna stop a rocket going that fast.
Can I see your maths to back that up, please?
Physics don't allow it. Common sense don't allow it.
Can I see your maths to back up you saying that physics doesn't allow it?
Gosh, for every action there's equal and opposite reaction. To stop
exactly, that's why it stopped spinning.
It spun until it hit something.
So I'm confused right now. Why does he deal so much damage? Do you have to cleave? Like, do people have to absorb the cleave?
They should have went faster. You know, that's when you make a race car, you try to make it as light as possible. Why? To make it go faster. You start adding weight. You throw weight off a race car, it's going to go faster. Physics, dude. Physics.
Here we go. Yeah, actual physics. Here we go. This is what is happening on the road.
Or is the scaling just complete out of whack?
Now, watch. Okay, and all they do is...
Okay, you're going to spin, and this thing was going straight up.
See those...
You're showing me a little... Hold on a minute now.
We're talking about the spin. Let me finish what I'm saying. Right? Look, okay, it is spinning.
Look, you don't have to spin. Look, I'm seeing what you're showing. Look, that's a turntable on that's a little turntable on a table.
Showing you that it's spinning. This is literally what the rocket is doing. It is spinning, and then
it's on a table spinning. It's going straight up in the air. The rocket is not on the table. Did you see that rocket sitting on the table spinning? That rocket was launched. Going up in the air.
And it still kept going up. It just stopped spinning. This shows you that a spinning thing can... Right, let me finish what I'm saying before you interrupt. Right?
This down because you're really testing my patience. You just lied.
Your stupidity tests your own patience, I'm sure. But look, as you can see, as it spins, the weights are released and it stops spinning.
I love you, sheep and
Dude,
goats.
just so you're aware, you're a
Here and
fucking idiot.
a
Like,
rocket did not
full on
stop dead
dumb.
in its
You
tracks.
are going to be
That's what we want
amazing
to
content
stop
for
dead in
me.
its tracks
Please, please,
is a
please
flat
keep
light.
putting out
Oh,
stuff.
the thing is done
And
for. It's
yeah,
1 to
please
34,
please keep
34.
putting out flat Earth stuff because I'm gonna have great fun debunking you. And he booted me. There we go, guys. Second debate of the day. Another dumbass destroyed. I wanted to see the. I haven't programmed all my stuff back into my Stream Deck yet since I upgraded my CPU and GPU, so I've not got some of the evidence there. I did have a video of a rocket launch looking literally out of the cockpit view going up into space. It's boring. That's why they don't do it that way. Oh, Tommy, yeah, I see the messages in Discord, dude. I'm sorry. Oh, fucking hell. I'm struggling with pain today, guys. I dislocated my shoulder yesterday. It's a thing that happens relatively regularly. Hasn't happened for a little bit, but yeah, it came out yesterday when gone out for a drive with the kids to McDonald's, and I was passing them food behind me and just moving my arm back that way. Pop! Had to go to A&E and have it put back in, so I'm struggling with pain a bit. So I am sorry. But I've had fun tonight. 2 idiots absolutely destroyed. I'd say that conversation was at least polite, but full of a monumental amount of stupidity. And I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Apparently, Monkey Cat Pat Pat says he shut his entire stream down. He even rage quit his own channel. Always good. Right, I want to say a couple of things. I recently did a collaboration with Mr. Sensible. Please go and check out Mr. Sensible's channel and have a look at his new video. It's doing really well for him, and I'd love to see it get above 10,000 views. If any of my mods could please pop Mr. Sensible's video about Pig into the chat, I'd really appreciate if everyone watching could give that video a like and a share. Mr. Sensible is really good at what he does, and I'd love it if more people could see his videos. Let's try and get him above 10,000 views on that video, guys, by you guys sharing it for me. Also, please do subscribe to my wife's channel, Emma Reads Reddit. There's still daily content coming out of that. Daily content. And she's having great fun doing it, and she's getting better and better. So please check out my wife's channel, Emma Reads Reddit. I think that's all the announcements I want to make. I'm going to read super chats and then go to bed because it's nearly 2 o'clock in the morning here. I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who has watched and supported me tonight on both of the streams. I've had an amazing time, and I hope you have all as well. Super chats and memberships and patrons are, my lifeblood, and really help me improve this channel. Your guys' generosity is always incredible. I don't need any more donations for VMix, so please do not donate on PayPal for the VMix that I was asking for. I've reached that thanks to the amazing support from you guys.
Wait, that also
works? And I know
works?
that if you guys are unable to support me financially,
That doesn't look right.
And the best way that you can help me, honestly, is sharing my stuff on Facebook and Twitter. Social media is
That doesn't look right at all.
Popular. I hate
The
it,
whole macro
but
looks
it really
wrong.
does help my channel, so please
I'm pretty sure you cannot
Check
cast
Master for $5 says drinking game. Take a drink every time FTA
items.
Last man standing wins a lifetime membership to Alcoholics Anonymous. He didn't boot me once. He didn't even mute me. He didn't fucking shut up, but he didn't mute me. So everyone's gonna be sober. Sorry about that. Yeah, Chris Dunn Music Channel says, Today I Fucked Up is my favourite Emma Reads Reddit. She likes doing the Today I Fucked Up. Please, if one of my mods could put my wife's channel, Emma Reads Reddit, in the chat as well, that'd be great. Mr. Nelson for 45 Donkey Kong dollars says, this guy has more open tabs than MC Toon. High IQ. And then Mr. Nelson for another 45 Donkey Kong dollars says, whoa, science is making videos. Amazing, I know. Who made that? Science did. Fucking idiot. Robert Williams for $1.99 says, PB Flakes for the balanced breakfast. PB Flakes. Mr. Lead Flakes for all the flat earthers, definitely. Mr. Nielsen for another 45 Donkey Kong dollars says, he says ground positioning satellites. He really said it. I guess satellites are a thing then. He kept also saying that satellites orbit, which, is impossible on a flat earth. And it's a shame that he recently went to Flat Earth because of God. Fucking hate that. Alien X Gaming for $5 says, can you ask him real quick when he started believing in Flat Earth and where he first heard about it? Is it really flat? Nope. Apparently 2 or 3 years ago, he said. Jeremy Hunt for $5 says, I'm really curious. If the pig has slapped filed spousal abuse if the pig he slapped filed spousal abuse charges, can you ask him for me? Love you, Flat. So I'll read that again. I'm really curious if the pig he slapped filed spousal abuse charges. Big pig slapper oink. Yes, sorry. Terrible words there. General E. Shady for $5 Australian says, Bible, a book written by men. Not a single word in the Bible was written by a sky wizard. Now you don't believe scientists, believe 2,000-year-old stories. Yeah, a book said a thing. Big fucking deal. Thank you for all the super chats, guys. Woo woo. Draco Fire for 500 Japanese yen. Yo, Craig, where can I research a Jesus story from other religions thing? It really helped in my debates. You need to look into the religions that came before Christianity and even kind of before Judaism. The Jesus story, you know, the rise, the Son of God, the rising from the dead and all that, it's literally lifted wholesale from other religions. Most of the stories in the Bible are full-on plagiarism. It's not even an original fiction book. Robert Williams, $1.99 says, Dr. Tyson works for the Hayden Planetarium. He did contract for NASA for a little bit, so I guess he technically worked for NASA, but yes, you are right. And the Jord said for $2, eat him up like Rincewine tries to eat the Jord. And he's still going to try and eat the Jord, don't you fucking worry. If you guys haven't seen my...
fuck.
Please go and subscribe to the channel Globers and Goblins. Mr. Nelson for another 45 Donkey Kong dollars. Satan killed 10 people only because told him to. So basically, God killed all the people in the Bible. Mr. Nelson for another 45 Donkey Kong dollars says, FTFE asked him if he was there when the Bible was written. Being there is apparently very important. Double standards, indeed. Mr. Oh, no, read that one. Sorry, one sec. Sorry, still getting over my Draco Fire for another 500 Japanese yen. Pig seems to be an appropriate name because, like a pig, he is dependent on an outside entity. For pigs, it's the farmer. For this guy, it's his god. Robeed for $10 says, here's an answer. Nothing can exist before time because the concept of before is contingent on time. This is proof that God does not exist because it means that God must adhere to logic. Nuh-uh. No,
oh my god.
Answer to everything. Dilithin for £2 says, ask him.
I did not realize that I have buttons for that on my keyboard.
$4.99 says, I appreciate FTFE exposing how dumb his opponents tend to be, but Pig just comes off as way more pathetic and delusional than most. Just sad. He was pretty sad, wasn't he? Mr. Nilsson for 45 Donkey Kong dollars says, so the rocket can't stop fast, but it can survive slamming into the dome at high speed. Sounds plausible. Fucking idiot. General E. Shady for $2 Australian says the rocket owners say despin. Yeah, yo-yo despin is exactly what happened there. Fuck you Tube for $2 says Pig gives people from the southern US a bad name. I've never been to southern US, but that's probably right. And then Aslan for $2 Australian says asked him if he wants a pilot to come on and bully him. I think as a pilot you should try and poke him yourself, dude. Alem Marduo for $5 says you can go to any country to study culture, but you get all of it. Same thing if you go to the moon. It's not like you're equipped to study the few oxygen. Yeah, just because you studied one thing doesn't mean you've studied another. His whole, well, they didn't do it before 2 years means it's fake is fucking ridiculous. And then the last one is from my good buddy Tommy Gronville for 50 Nokia says, kick your little toe on a table leg, then you forget about the shoulder for a while. Only for a little bit. The pain in my shoulder stays there, but I don't want to kick. That fucking hurts. Shut up. Thank you guys for watching tonight. I've had an amazing time. I hope you guys are ready for an awesome Christmas and everything, because I am. In the new year, there's going to be some big changes coming to the channel. Oh, no. Big changes. Yeah. Updated schedule. The start of the FTFE podcast. And someone will be joining the channel. I'm not going to say who yet. You'll find out soon. Ooh, exciting. Everyone, I love you all. Have a great night. Thank you for the support. It's always amazing. And remember, stupidity is not a right. Fight the flat earth.
Too far away. I cannot use that. It is not ready yet. That item is still recharging. I cannot use that item yet. It is not ready yet.
Wow. Woo.
How may I help? Del Ladris.
What's shaking? Catch you on the flip side.
I got what
Oh fuck. More rogue armor. Why can't I even use this bullshit? I don't understand. Oh my god. I want tranquility so bad. I want it now. Cause I know what I will. Oh my god. It won't be hilarious, but yeah, I will like it. And no, stop it.
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Hey MFDFE, welcome back to the channel that slow roasts stupidity for 9 hours at 140 degrees Celsius to make sure the knowledge is evenly distributed throughout. Yeah, it's another Flat Earth debate. Well, more of a discussion. We spoke to Barry recently, but it wasn't that great of a discussion. We had some troubles getting him in, so he's here now. He's in the call. Barry, welcome back to the channel. How you doing?
Thank you. Not bad.
So, we didn't really get round to a lot of the stuff you wanted to talk about last time, so I thought I'd just let you start off because you've got a lot of questions, right? That's your whole thing, is that you've got questions.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
what are the questions?
Okay.
Right, first question. Last week you showed me the inside of a nuclear reactor.
Yes, tokamak fusion reactor.
And you claimed that this was gas being held in place by magnetism.
Ionized gas held in place by magnetism and extremely
Ionized,
high electric
did you say?
voltage. Yes.
Did you say ionized?
Ionized
It's not
gas,
plasma
yes.
then. It's not plasma.
Plasma is ionized gas.
Oh, right, so it's plasma.
Yeah, which is ionized gas.
Yes. Right. So to become plasma, what is the
Oh no no
process?
no 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 no
The
no! Stop
electrons
stop
are
stop!
removed, pretty much.
All right. So it has to go through a process.
Yes, that's why it's called ionized gas, because there's something slightly different about it.
It's the same tank again. No,
To control this.
it's the dude. Oh my god! I just got tranquility.
Yeah.
tranquility.
What difference do you mean? Difference in what?
Well, first of all, it had to go through a process which you're claiming the Earth must have to do.
No,
Because
I'm
you
not claiming
claimed
that
it
at
was
all.
Yes, because I asked you for gas being controlled by gravity. You showed
No,
me-
no, you didn't.
you showed
You
me
didn't
ionized
ask me.
gas
You didn't
in a
ask for
changed
gas
state.
being controlled by gravity. What you asked for was to show you gas or a high pressure system being contained without a barrier, which I showed you.
We did have a barrier. You showed it had to be processed, didn't it?
Was
Before
there
that could be done.
was there a physical barrier between the ionized gas and the vacuum right next to it? Yes or no?
You mean the plasma?
Ionized gas. Yes, you can call it
The
whatever you
plasma.
like.
The plasma,
Yeah.
because we don't breathe plasma, do we?
Yeah, but that's irrelevant. Plasma is
It's
ionized gas.
No, it's not irrelevant because once it's in a changed state, it has different properties.
Yeah, but I'm
That's
not
the only
claiming.
reason-
I'm not claiming
No,
that
no,
the
no,
Earth's.
no,
Hold
it's
on,
the
Barry. No,
only
you hold
reason
on.
you can
I'm
actually
not
use
claiming.
magnetism, isn't it?
I'm not claiming that the Earth's atmosphere is held on by
you
magnetism.
Are. Yes, you are, because that was the
No,
question.
I'm not. I'm not claiming the Earth's
question
atmosphere
was,
is held
can
on by
you have gas
magnetism.
pressure on the outside of a ball while it's inside a vacuum?
Yes, you can.
Well, only if it's in a changed state.
It's still gas pressure.
No, it's not.
It absolutely
plasma.
is.
No,
And,
it's plasma.
and,
You can go
ga-
to the site
and
if
Barry,
you want
Barry,
and check with
what
them.
is plasma?
No, go to the site and check with them.
Ga-
Get it from
Barry,
their mouths.
Bob, what is plasma?
Gas in a changed state. It's in a different
It's
state.
a gas. So I have it's an
No,
ionized
no,
gas.
No, it's in
So
a changed state. It
I have
becomes
showed
plasma.
you.
No.
Yeah.
It becomes plasma. That's why they use the name plasma.
Yeah. And
PLA,
what is plasma?
yeah.
What is plasma, Barry? It's an ionized gas.
No, it's it's an ionized gas.
Yeah, there we go,
It's
cool.
a superheated gas.
Now, but here's the thing. I never claimed that the
Here's the
Earth's
thing,
atmosphere.
in order to
Barry,
control that
Barry,
gas, they
I'm
have to
sorry.
change
I'm
its
sorry,
state.
Barry. Barry, I'm sorry. Did the middle of my sentence interrupt the beginning of yours? There?
Sorry.
Yeah, cool. So, did I claim that the Earth's atmosphere was held on by magnetism?
No.
Well then, I am demonstrating one simple thing with that you do
Yeah.
not need any kind of physical barrier to have a high pressure
Yes,
system.
you do. Yes, you do.
Really?
What
Okay,
you
right.
did there was in order
Please,
to keep,
please
in
tell
order
me
to not
where
have
the
a
physical barrier
there,
is.
You
Then.
have to change the state of the gas.
Okay, well
That's what
there
you
is
do.
plenty of other ways that I can show you a high pressure gas system next to a low pressure gas system. Have you ever heard of this thing called weather?
Yes.
Right, cool. What is weather?
Different different atmospheric pressures.
Okay, so please show me the physical barrier of any kind between the high pressure and low pressure systems coming over me quite regularly in Scotland.
The reason it's coming over you is because there isn't a barrier.
So where is the barrier between the high pressure and low pressure systems?
What do you mean?
Is there
Where
a
is the
barrier? Okay, right, now even better, right? Where is the
No.
barrier between 1 meter above the ground and 2 meters above the ground?
At 2 meters.
Where's the
What?
barrier? Between 1 meter and 2 meter above the ground.
It
Because
doesn't need a barrier for that.
so there is a difference in gas pressure. There is a high pressure
Yes,
gas
there is a
system
difference.
right next to a
Yes.
low pressure gas
Yes.
system with no
Yes.
barrier in between them. So can we agree that you can have high
Yes.
pressure systems next to low pressure systems without a physical barrier?
Only inside a closed system.
What?
Cool. The Earth's a closed system.
Correct.
So then there's no problem having high pressure next to low pressure? Do we
Well,
agree
that's
on
the
that?
barrier, isn't it? Isn't it? That
well,
would be the barrier.
The
Because you've
barrier,
got
the barrier, Barry. Right. Here's the
Yes.
thing. Well, the barrier is the fact
Yes.
that on Earth, right? If I take this lighter, right, and I let go of it, what happens to this lighter?
It will fall.
No. Try again. It does something different to falling. It,
No, it will
ex-
fall.
Accelerate.
yeah, but it does more than just fall.
Becomes
it
faster.
accelerates. It goes from not moving to moving at 9.8
Well,
meters per second squared, which is
wait.
Hold on, Barry. Hold on.
Sorry,
Is
go on then.
it's an acceleration, right?
Sorry.
So we agree. You let go of things, and they accelerate towards the ground, which means that there is a downward acceleration acting upon them. That downward acceleration, Barry, is the barrier that keeps the atmosphere on Earth. Because that downward acceleration requires energy to... hold on. That downward acceleration requires energy to escape. Therefore,
No, it doesn't.
it is literally... I'm sorry, so you can escape the downward acceleration without energy, Barry?
Listen to me. Now you listen to me. You picking it up, was that energy?
No.
You said
That's
that
not how physics works. That's not how physics works.
Is that what you're saying?
Barry,
And
are
then
you
you're now
are
saying
you
that the
Barry,
area
are
you
you
neutralised,
saying?
you
Hold on,
left
stop,
It's
Barry,
going to
stop.
support it.
Are you saying
what
that?
you're saying?
Are you saying that me letting it go is the reason it accelerates?
No, the reason it got up there to accelerate in the first place, you provided the energy. You
yeah.
moved it.
But an acceleration requires a constant force acting upon it, which means that as
No,
I
you
then
created
no,
a situation for it to fall.
no, Barry, it
You
cannot
created it by
listen,
picking it
listen.
up and then
No,
letting
listen.
it go. You
You
created it.
cannot, Barry. Hold on. You cannot have a continuous acceleration without a continuous force, which means
Why
that
can't
after
you?
you, because F equals ma.
What's that? FMA. That's a baby
F-
food.
F equals m. Do you know Newton's laws of motion?
No.
I don't need to know his laws of motion because
I'm pretty sure you do.
No, I don't. I only need it to be
Every
told, like
engineer
you
in
do,
the
to try and
world,
fool other
every
people.
engineer in the world would disagree with you, not needing
No,
to
no,
know
I don't-
Newton's
look,
laws of motion.
Look, you've explained your little point, right? Now let me explain mine.
Your
provided the
point
energy
is
for
that you
lighter
don't understand
to get into
physics.
the air. Did you not hold the lighter up in the air?
I did, yes. I created a force to counter the downward acceleration.
You see, now is my answer now getting into the way of your beginning the sentence?
I was telling you why you were wrong, Barry.
No, you
now,
weren't. You
all
were
right,
trying to tell me why
here's
you're-
how
why you're
here's how
why
I
you're
can
trying to fool
debunk
everybody
your
else.
nonsense, right? So right, listen to me for a second, okay? So you are saying, right, that if I lift this up from here to here,
Yes.
I have then
Yes.
given it the energy to accelerate from here back to my hand, right?
Yes.
Right,
Oh.
okay, so what about this then? I lift it up from there, but then I've moved my
Yeah.
hand. And it will
It's
still
still
keep
full.
accelerating. Where does the extra
Yeah.
energy come from, Barry?
What
Where does the
extra
energy come? Well, because if
From
I
its
really,
motion.
if I hold on, if I've lifted it up,
From its
lifted up,
motion.
lifting, hold on, if I've lifted it up from here
I
to
just
here,
answered your question.
no, that doesn't make sense. Listen, your claim
It
is
does
that
make
I
sense.
have
It's
given it the.
motion.
Your claim is that I have given it the energy, right?
Yes.
Which means that there would be a finite amount of energy imparted onto it. So, I lift it up from one surface to another. That means that, according
No.
to you, I have imparted enough energy for it to go from there to there. So when I let it go, it should only go back from there to there, right?
No, we'll see-
Which
try
is
and
a
find
problem
balance.
for what you are saying, because if I lift it to there
No.
and give it that energy, then move my hand and let it go, it still accelerates a lot further, meaning that according to
Right.
you, it has gained extra energy. Motion does not give
No.
things energy. Energy gives things
No.
motion.
I think you see because you didn't bother to listen to my answer, you've gone and made your own little story.
Of course he
That
didn't
was
bother
exactly what you
because
said.
everything you said,
No, I
say,
said you gave it the energy to move.
Everything
from
you
where
were
it was
saying
to
is
where you're gonna
bullshit.
expect it to be. You gave it that energy.
So where
If
did the
you'd have
extra
left it
energy
where it
come
was,
from then?
would it have moved anywhere?
Where did the extra energy come from then?
What energy? What extra energy? From its motion, you picked it up and you held it up.
Yeah, so I have then imparted a finite amount of energy on it, right?
What are you on about?
Do you understand
dropped
what?
it.
Do you understand what the word finite means?
No, I understand what I'm talking about.
Clearly-
don't.
clearly
You're
not,
trying
Barry.
to tell me. You're trying to tell me something.
I'm trying to
that's
tell
happening
you that you
isn't
don't
actually
understand
happening.
physics.
What do you mean? I don't
Jesus
understand
fuck,
physics?
why
See,
is he
something
eating so much
rise.
damage?
Yeah,
What
but
the
they
heck
just
is happening?
rise, They
You're trying to
accelerate.
complicate
Barry,
physics to
Barry,
impose your lie
Barry,
upon it. That's all you're
it,
doing.
it doesn't just fall or rise, things accelerate. And acceleration requires a force.
The force you'd already started giving it.
Yeah, but
When
it
you picked it
requires
up.
a constant force
It was
being
at
applied
rest.
to it.
It was at rest where it was.
Right, okay, so are you saying that if I get in my car and just at the start apply one force, so put my foot down for a little bit, I will then continue to go for the rest of the time
No.
without applying another force?
No, I was talking about the light that you was talking about.
Yeah, but I am talking about acceleration and forces. You said that an acceleration doesn't require
you're trying
force.
to fool people into thinking that you coming out with long words and coming up with stupidness about somebody.
Acceleration and force are large words.
Somebody
Is that what you're
it's
saying?
Going to change the fact that you just dropped something, and then you're going to try and claim it to be gravity.
Well, gravity is an experimentally proven fact, so.
No, it isn't.
It absolutely is. Would you like a list of
No, it
experiments?
isn't. It actually
Oh,
isn't.
Would you like a list
holy
of
crap.
experiments?
You use something to convince yourself.
Would you like a list of experiments that you can debunk?
I mean, your example of gravity was magnetism. That's what I'm saying.
No, I never once said that. I never once said that. I never once said that my gravity was magnetism.
You use magnetism because you haven't got real gravity to do it with.
Oh, I have. There's many experiments that actually demonstrate gravity. Many of them.
I know you keep saying that, but nobody really knows. And
Would you like to talk about the experiments? All right, let me. Well, weight is mass times gravity, so cool, no worries.
Oh, you see, there you go again. There you go. It's all got added to the mathematics, hasn't it?
But that's literally what weight is.
In real life.
Right,
you won't show me an example
Barry, hold on.
holding down gas.
Barry, hold on. I will show you an example of gravity right now if you just pay attention and listen for 2 minutes, okay?
After all that, did Masculine
Yes,
get his sums
I will.
right? Well,
Right,
what
here
the
we go.
math thing should. Gravitational pulling obviously becomes
Let me get to the right.
to working out the weight of the world.
Here we go.
Nevertheless, Masculine had a go. This is what he did. He dangled a long plumb line on a platform 2/3 of the way up the mountain. He knew 2 gravitational forces would act upon it. The main gravity would obviously be coming from the mass of the Earth, pulling it down. But the mass of the mountain itself would pull the plumb line towards it, slightly off vertical. We've exaggerated it here. That gravitational effect is what he measured. From the angle the plumb line was deflected, Masculine could calculate the mass of the Earth relative to the mountain. He knew what the mountain weighed, so he could work out the weight of the Earth.
But
And that was an experiment performed again recently in 2002 by a team of researchers at Glasgow University. And the interesting thing is that the maths actually works out exactly. You can literally calculate the weight of the Earth just from the data you get from that experiment. How is that possible?
Damn it. I don't even have a second one. I definitely need level skinning.
No, that's an example of what it's done. You can go to the Glasgow web. Hold on, Barry. You can go to the Glasgow. Barry, shut up. You can go to the Glasgow University website and look at the experiment and all the pictures and videos and evidence and data they gathered there. You just denying the experiment happened does not change the fact that it happened. But that's just one experiment.
That you can hold down gas. You can hold down the atmosphere with gravity.
There's an acceleration, and acceleration requires energy to overcome.
Yeah, it does. But that means
thank you. There we go. Brilliant. No worries. So
then why is it you can't come up with the experiment that shows gas sticking to the outside of a ball that's inside a vacuum?
Because we would need an extremely large mass for that to happen.
No, mate, you listen. You're claiming Earth can do this naturally,
Yeah,
and
it
everything
absolutely
you're spoken about, right? We quite somebody man-made objects. You're not talking about nothing that's natural. You're trying to claim that the Earth, right, is naturally able to keep gas on it and not escape.
There's a downward acceleration on Earth, so it absolutely can, unless you can get rid of that downward acceleration.
What physics is saying that it's a
no,
closed system.
physics says that it's fine, that can happen.
What can happen? That it's not a closed system? Did he not give you an example when he showed you what he was talking about?
It said that gas can stick to the ball, to Earth, because of gravity. That's what physics says.
He said it's the same as gas being inside a glass jar with a lid on.
Who said
only
that?
Only the light and the heat can escape.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about a closed system.
Okay.
That's why you're confused.
I'm not confused at all. We all know that Earth is technically almost
solid
a closed
mass
system.
cannot leave.
You can have tiny amounts of
the boundary. That's why he showed you an example.
Who showed me? Who showed me?
On it.
Barry, who showed me? What are you talking about?
The guy taking the class. Do you want me to show you the video?
The guy taking what class?
The one you was pretending that you knew what you're talking about.
What the fuck?
Are you
He
really
showed
quoting
you the MIT
Flatsoid
class,
that doesn't know what he's talking
and it
about?
shows you the MIT, and it explains to you what the three systems are and why they're
Yeah.
called, why they're claimed to be so.
And in physics, right, you can have
Yes.
a virtually closed system. On Earth, when you're talking about the
so it's a fourth system.
listen.
Ah,
On Earth, when you're talking
no.
about the closed system, the amount of matter that leaves is in the range of 0.000000000000000000000000001%. But there's also slight amounts of matter that come in, right? So it balances out to be a virtually closed system. And in science, you can literally talk about a virtually closed system, a virtually open
system. What you're talking about is light and temperature. It's not solid mass.
What are you talking about
The
entropy
you're
for?
talking about is
Why
light.
are you talking about entropy?
Because they're the only two things that can leave and come in.
Can you please define entropy?
Do you
for me?
understand? They're the two things that can pass
Barry,
the boundary.
Barry, can you
of a
please
closed
define
system.
Barry, can you please define entropy for me?
I just did.
Oh, you didn't.
No, you really didn't. Can you please define entropy?
No, it's energy passing between two. Well, should I say, the surface of what we call the Earth and space.
Sorry,
What we class as space.
those were definitely all English words, right?
Wait,
in that
wait, let
order,
me
they
explain
didn't
this
make
to you.
any
Let me explain
sense.
to you.
Could you
telling me
please
forgot
define what
the-
entropy is?
Are you telling me you forgot what he said on the class? What he showed you on the
No,
class?
no, I'm asking you if
pretending
you know
didn't
what
see
entropy
that?
is, Barry. I'm
No,
asking
I
you.
do, I do.
Barry,
And he
no,
and he
you
did
don't
explain
know what
to you.
entropy is.
Just explained it to you.
Okay, and Earth does not violate any laws of thermodynamics.
Yes, it's got to do because you're claiming it's a ball.
No, Earth's a globe.
You're claiming it happened in 360 all the way round.
And it doesn't violate
and
the
it can't.
it doesn't
You can't
violate
even
the laws of
prove it's happening
thermodynamics.
in a jar. You can't
Why-
even prove that that's happening in a jar.
Right, Barry,
What
you're
the-
scattergun. Barry, shut up. You're scattergun.
He just despawned.
Prove
I'm
what
just
happened.
exposing you to the
Barry,
idiot
shut
and the
up.
liar that you
Barry,
are. You use
Barry.
magnetism to claim that it
Barry,
was
will you
gravity.
shut up? Barry.
Because you couldn't come up with real gravity.
Shut up.
Because there's no such thing.
Barry, shut up.
No.
Okay.
Why don't you shut up? Because
Listen,
I
I'm
keep
trying to explain to
come up
you.
with lies.
And you don't understand. Right, just listen, all right?
You're lying.
Will you shush so I can actually talk? You're just shouting over, and we're not going to get anywhere. You need to actually listen if you want an answer to a question. Please act like an adult. This is why flat earthers are all fucking retards, because they don't know how conversations work. If they actually
No,
spent 2 minutes
we're
trying
not
to
retards.
listen,
We're
oh, you
retards
definitely
because we're
are.
not
You
stupid as
definitely are.
We're not
You
stupid
definitely
enough
are.
to fall for the garbage that you
You
keep
definitely
putting out
are
your mouth.
retards, like
You're talking a
100%.
load of crap.
Right now,
Mate, you're talking a load of
Gravity-
crap.
gravity is proven.
Link it to you again.
Gravity
Would you like
is
to
an
link it to you
experimental
again?
fact.
He does explain quite explicitly.
Okay,
what
can
solid
you
mass
shut
is.
the
And you're
fuck
trying
up,
to claim that
Barry?
Solid mass isn't solid mass.
I'm going to have to mute you if you don't stop talking over me.
Best to mute me, because if you're going to keep talking
Barry,
garbage, then I'll
will you
keep
shut
answering
up?
your garbage.
Well, you need to let me answer the questions. You need to be quiet, or you are going to have to get muted, all right? If you can't act like an adult, you'll get treated like a child. Gravity is experimentally verified. I have shown you one experiment. There are other experiments. The Pound-Reckberg experiment, the Cavendish experiment, the Eddington experiment of 1919, the discovery of Neptune. There is many, many experiments that show gravity exactly as we claim it to be. And nothing about gravity as we claim it to be says that we should be able to get a little ball, stick it in a vacuum, and have gas just sticking to it because of gravity. Because the gravitational force of that little ball would not be big enough. The reason gas sticks to Earth is because Earth is fucking massive and creates a massive gravitational acceleration of 9.8 meters per second squared, which requires energy to leave. That is what physics says.
You're talking out your backside, mate.
Okay, the nutter argument, brilliant, well done.
You're talking out your backside, mate. Seriously.
The nutter argument is not valid here. Sorry.
The what? Not her.
You just
What-
literally nuttered
what-
the.
Garbage.
I just explained.
Oh
what
my
physics
God.
doesn't mean the fact. I just explained. Right. We're going to move on to one particular thing. Hold on. I'm going to ask you one particular question, right? Because this is something that you guys keep going on about. Could you please? I'm asking you a question. Could you please define for me and cite what the second law of thermodynamics is?
Why? Why?
Because this is what your entire claim is. The Earth is violating the second law of thermodynamics. So, please cite to me
listen.
exactly what the
I'll tell you
second law
I'm
of
doing.
thermodynamics
You
is.
see, no, you're trying to tell me what I'm trying to say. That's a problem. And you keep telling me to shut up every time I give you an answer. Right.
You
Now,
haven't
I'm giving
given
you
me
a
an
question.
answer.
You're claiming, right, that a closed system isn't an enclosed system because you can get solid matter in and out of it, which is really opposing what they're saying on the physics class. Right.
Yeah.
This is what they teach on that is solid mass does not pass the boundary.
And when
You're
you
claiming it
actually
can,
have physics
right?
classes,
So
you
can we
learn
see
that there
your
can
proof
be
that it can?
a
Because you keep coming up with all these lies about, oh, they've experimented with gravity and this and the other, but you've never shown gas on the outside of a ball. Right?
I can show you gas on the outside of a ball right now. Barry, I can show you. I can show you. I can show you gas on the outside of a big globe right now.
Supposed to be on the outside.
Would you like to see it?
Of a ball.
Would you like to see it? Yes or no?
Vacuum.
Barry, would you like to see it? Barry, would you like to see it? Yes or no?
Yes. Put it up.
There you go.
I bet you it's a load of rubbish. See what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay, please tell me why that's rubbish.
Well, for a start off, because it's perfectly round.
No, it's not.
And none of the colours match reality, not real reality.
Can you please prove that to me?
Real reality.
Well,
What?
do you need to? I mean, have you never seen a photograph? Have you never seen a picture of the seaside?
I'm looking at
anything
a
like
photograph right now, one taken with a
Are you-
Hasselblad camera in 1972.
1972. That was taken from space, apparently. You're saying?
Yeah, with a physical camera onto a physical film developed in a physical darkroom.
Oh, great! Oh, right, that's the one I was asking you to send me.
What?
So I've shown you a literal picture of a massive big globe with gas around the edge of it.
Right, but I can guarantee to you right now. You see the land that's on it, right? I bet you that doesn't concur with what you're showing me now.
That absolutely does.
I bet you it doesn't.
In what way?
Because you're showing Africa here. Yeah. You've got Africa here. Look at the side of it. Look at its position. You see, you're showing Africa here. Right? You've got the River Nile, like I keep saying, is going supposed to be going up. It's supposed to, on this ball. It's actually to concur with the shape of the ball that you're claiming is a picture, a photograph. It's got to go uphill.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. It's got to go over the curve of the ball.
On the globe that you're looking at,
go over the
down
of the ball,
is
mate.
listen.
Seriously.
Up is away from the center of the ball. Down is towards the middle.
But there is no center. Wherever you are, you're on the center of a ball. Wherever you are.
Wait, did you just say wherever you are, you're on the center of a ball?
Wherever you are, you're on the center of a ball.
Do you know what the word center means?
Oh my
yes.
As in
No, you
at
don't.
the middle.
Middle.
Yeah, so are you saying that wherever you are on the surface of the Earth, you're
Yes.
in the middle of the Earth?
Well, you're at the middle of a ball.
No.
I'm sorry, I might have just had a stroke there. Could you
Basically
please define
on
the word
top,
middle for
in
me?
quotes, of the ball,
Or
wherever you are.
Central point on the surface.
I mean, that doesn't make any sense either, but
Well, North Pole then. Does North Pole make sense?
yes, the North Pole
So why
is
would they
at the
define
north.
it as the top of a ball? Because if you're
They don't-
referring to a three-dimensional
who
ball.
defined the
aren't
North
you?
Pole as the top?
Nobody.
No, who defined it?
You're the one that just made the claim.
Well, why are they claiming there's a North Pole then? Why are they claiming there's a South Pole?
Because
There are.
north and south are parts of magnets, nothing to do with up or down.
Oh, right, I see what you're saying. So this ball isn't any way up then, in any way up or anywhere is down and anywhere is up.
Towards the center, as in right in the middle, is down. Away from the center is up. This isn't hard,
Yeah.
Barry. This is like literal
But it is-
3-year-olds
it is hard
understand
because
this.
look, like I said, the landmass doesn't match to anything that's here.
In what way?
on
In what way?
land,
In
in
what way
reality.
doesn't the landmass match? Are you saying that landmass is too big in this picture?
Well, yeah.
Are you really going to go with the Africa looks too big argument?
Also the curve, the curve you've got for the ball. I mean, you're claiming this is Earth, but I mean, every other picture that we've got that doesn't involve something that claims to come from space doesn't show this.
What do you mean doesn't show this? In what way doesn't it show this?
Well, this big, massive ball.
I could show you literally millions of pictures that show this big globe from space.
Well, yeah, from space, because space is a fake thing. I mean, it's just high. You're talking about high, and it doesn't even
it's
show
absolutely
you that.
not.
You won't
Space
get
is
that.
100%
All
real.
they've done is made that look as though it's round. That's all they've done.
And how did they do that in 1972?
I don't know. I mean, they've got more.
You're the one,
than
Barry.
we have,
Barry,
haven't
you're the one that's just claimed it. So, according to Hitchens' razor, anything presented without evidence can be dismissed
Well,
without
that's one of
evidence.
the
Do
reasons
you
I
have
asked you to
evidence
send
that
it to
this
me,
is
but
fake?
Send me. I'll
And I
take a shot
literally
of it
told
now.
you where. I literally told you where to get it. You can just Google 1972 blue marble. But I want to go back to you
Yeah.
saying that Africa is too
Okay.
big.
Yeah,
Could you please
that's the
tell
blue
me?
marble. Oh, that's great then.
Could,
Yeah.
Could,
nice
could you
one.
please tell me what you mean by Africa's too big?
Well, it keeps changing in size. I mean, if you go back to the other blue marbles, you'll find.
Oh
that
my
you've got
god,
to
he's
do-
so
Oh my
stupid.
God! Are you?
Another one of those idiots that doesn't understand how cameras work.
Look at this picture. Look at this picture.
Doesn't understand how
Look at this
zooming
picture.
works and
This
like.
is the
Oh
same
my
globe.
god.
Ah, see, now you didn't do what I asked you, did you? You didn't go back to the other blue marbles.
There it
Probably
is.
because it would have exposed something, maybe.
But please explain to me, Barry, how on this picture of the two globes, Africa appears to be different sizes. It's the same
They're
globe,
both fakes. They're both fakes. And none of them, neither of them are of Earth. That's why.
What?
but it's of a
The
globe,
Earth isn't
right?
ball.
If-
You ain't,
the-
you ain't
the-
on a ball.
Barry, listen to the question. On this globe that I'm showing you, right?
Yes.
This is two
Yes.
pictures of the same globe. Why does
Yes.
Africa look different sizes if it's two
Because
pictures
they're
of the
both
same
fake.
globe?
Because they're both fakes.
In what way is
Oh,
it fake?
okay, of course.
Because it's on a ball.
You're Poe.
The Earth isn't a spherical. It's not spherical.
Listen to the question, Barry. You're either a Poe
Look,
or
it's
you're
two
ignoring me on
competents that
purpose.
trying to put something that's flat onto something round. That's what it is. That's what
Barry,
the problem
that's
is.
not what
that's
I'm
why I
asking.
keep getting the sizes wrong.
Listen to the question.
You-
Look at
you're
the
not
globe
listening
in
to
front
the
of
answer,
you.
are you?
This is one globe. This isn't two different globes. This is just one globe, right?
Right.
And in these two pictures, Africa looks different
Yes.
sizes, yes?
Yes.
How is that
Agreed.
possible if this is just one globe? What happened?
Did I print it out? Did I print that globe out?
What?
What are you asking me? How did they get two fakes wrong? That's what you're asking me.
No, no,
How
no.
did they
This
get two
this
fakes of Earth
this
wrong?
isn't two fakes. This is one single globe
I
taken
know
at
it's
two
a
different.
globe, but like I explained to you, I'm trying to tell you. that
It's the same
actually,
globe.
The globe is wrong in the first place. The
But
fact that
Barry-
it's in a ball. Hello.
Barry,
He's a
listen,
Poe.
Hello.
listen. I am asking you how these pictures have Africa look in different sizes if it's two pictures of the same globe.
No, you're asking me how to judge two fake copies of what Earth is supposed to be.
No, I'm not. It's one
They're
single
both
globe.
wrong.
It's not two copies. It's one globe. It's the same globe, Barry.
Yes, it's the same globe, but the fact that it's a globe proves that it's wrong in the first place.
So, did Africa grow in size on this globe for the picture on the left?
Look, the Apple can do whatever it does, because whoever's created that isn't created a real picture of Earth. That's
They've
not a real
take-
depiction of Earth.
They're not saying it is. They have taken a picture of a globe to illustrate the point that Africa can appear different sizes on the same globe.
Yes, on a globe, because the globe isn't a real model of the Earth.
So globes are magic.
No, globes are lies.
So lies make things grow.
It makes things grow. What do you mean?
That's what I'm getting from you. Apparently, because the globe is a lie, Africa can grow in size on this globe.
Isn't that what it's been doing on all the other blue marbles that were original pictures from space? They've been changing colours and changing sizes.
Africa is different sizes on many of the pictures. Yes, because
Exactly. So they're not real pictures. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
yeah,
Oh
but
my
the
God.
one. Oh, yeah, okay, all right. Hold on.
You're showing me two different sizes. Is the fact that they're not real. They're not real.
But this is a
Neither of
real
them are
picture
real.
of it. This is a real picture
No.
of a physical globe.
No, mate. Both of them are fake.
No,
Both
they're
of
not
them.
fake. Those are
They're both
actual
crap fakes.
Listen, Barry. Those are actual photographs of a physical round object. that has the
I
globe
understand what
printed
you're
on
saying
it.
to me.
Right? And
I
it's the same
understand what
globe,
you're saying,
and
sir.
Africa is different sizes on that same globe,
Yes.
depending on how
Yes.
close the camera was and what type of lens was used.
No, it's not depending on that. It's not.
Yes,
It's
it
not
is.
depending on that.
It's no.
Why
It's-
did
it depends
Africa
on how
glow
they're
then?
trying to impose- They're trying to impose a flat map onto something round.
Oh my God, you're dense.
They're trying to impose something flat onto something round. That's why you're going to keep getting all these different. I mean, look how many times you've had to change what you're claiming it is.
We never changed
From
what
these
we
two
claim what it is.
sides, not only these two sides,
But this
actually,
is the
actual
same
shape
globe,
it
Barry.
is-
This is the same globe taken with a camera.
I know.
What happened to Africa? How did it grow?
I hear you and I agree. You say it's the same globe. I agree it's the same globe.
Right. Well, that means that you can have different pictures of Earth from space with Africa
It means
looking
you can have
different sizes.
You can have different size fakes. That's all it
But,
means.
but these aren't fake. These are actual photos.
They're called look, they're actual photos of a fake globe. A globe is
No,
a
no,
fake.
that's a real
the
globe.
itself is a fake, mate.
Wherever you think that the Earth is fake, this is a real globe.
It's a globe. I'm not denying that it's a globe. I'm denying that the globe is a real accurate description of real Earth.
So how on this real globe?
It's not an accurate
did
description of real Earth.
I don't care what you think, but how on this real globe
Well,
did
you do,
Africa
because you keep
apparently
asking me
grow in
questions.
size? How did Africa grow in size on these pictures?
Because they couldn't fake it properly.
He
What?
didn't fake anything. He just took two photos of the same globe.
Yeah, but he's the one that faked the two pictures, then, is he?
No, he didn't
have
fake
to fake
anything.
the pictures. It was the globe that was fake.
So the globe faked the picture itself.
No, the globe is fake.
Barry, do you drink lead paint?
Do I need to know that the globe is fake? Do I need to
I
know
mean,
what
it
a
would
flat floor is?
definitely,
Did you not
definitely
use flat
it
level,
helps.
Did you not use flat level ground for your experiment with the coin? Did you not use flat level ground? Did Simon Dan not use flat level ground for his little experiment?
You know,
Would it have
flat
worked
and level
on a hill?
don't mean the same
Would
thing,
it have
right?
worked on a curve?
You know, flat and level don't mean the same thing, right?
Oh, right.
Barry,
Right.
I keep hearing you laugh. I know you're a Poe.
Flat level means no. I'm not laughing actually. I'm not.
No, I keep hearing you laugh. You're a Poe. Sorry,
I'm
you
not
busted,
laughing.
dude.
This isn't
Dude.
a laughing matter, is it?
No,
If
dude,
you're
you're,
gonna keep
you're
lying,
busted.
it can't
Dude,
be a
you're
laughing
busted.
matter, is it?
Dude, you're busted. I've caught you laughing so many times under your breath. You're clearly a Poe. You can stop it.
Okay.
Like, there's only two options. Either you're a Poe, or you are actually the dumbest flat earther I've ever spoken to, and that's not a title you want.
I don't get it. If I get it off,
If you're a flat earther, I understand that you don't get it.
If you're
but
too stupid,
you're
to
clearly a
understand
Poe.
it, right, you're too stupid to understand that what you're talking is a load of garbage. You're trying to make up garbage like lies about. Well,
Cool.
we can
Yeah,
go
so
into space. We can do
F
this,
equals
that, and the
MA
other. You're
is
talking out your
garbage.
backside, mate.
Of course it is.
See, that's what I'm saying. You watched the same
Barry-
program you watched with Flatzoid. You were trying
Poe
to
says
argue
what?
that same point with Flatzoid.
Poe
wasn't
says
you?
what?
You were trying to argue that point
Sorry,
with
Poe
Flatzoid,
says what?
wasn't you? That you're claiming that you knew was a closed
Sorry, Barry.
system, yet you couldn't
Barry,
describe
sorry.
a closed system.
Sorry. There's some
On the
interference. The amount of Poe is overpowering. I can't quite hear what you're saying.
Of course you can't.
Sorry,
You're allergic to the truth, mate. That's what
guys.
your problem
Can
is.
can
You're
anyone
allergic
speak
to the
Poe?
truth.
Can any of you guys speak Poe? Anyone? No. I'm sorry, Barry. No one here speaks Poe. You're gonna have to try and speak English.
There you go, you see. You got
Hey,
people that
hey,
can't understand truth. They don't know what the truth is. And it's people like you trying to keep them confused and lied to.
See, when you say truth,
Yes.
I
Did you
don't-
use the
I don't
truth
think
when you
that
tried
means-
to tell me that was gas being controlled by gravity? Did you
I
use
didn't
the
say it
truth?
was gas being controlled by gravity.
Did you use the truth?
He didn't fall! He didn't fall! He didn't fall! Inconceivable! You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
I need to clip that better. No, I never said that there was gravity causing what was happening in the fusion reactor. I was just pointing out you
I
don't
know,
need
but
a
wasn't
physical
that
barrier
part
between a
of
high and
the
a low
question?
pressure system. No, the
Wasn't it
question
part of
was
the question?
can you show me high pressure gas next to low pressure gas, which I did quite easily. There's many more
No,
ways
actually,
to
you
demonstrate that,
didn't. You
Barry.
showed me
Have
magnetism
you ever
at
heard of a
work on the
plane?
plasma.
Have you ever heard of a plane? Like an aeroplane, you know,
Yes.
the magic sky
Yes.
bird things, right?
Yes. Yes.
So, how does a plane create lift exactly?
You mean differential air pressure on the wings?
Oh, right. So do me a favor. Point out where the physical barrier is between the difference in air pressure.
The wing.
Right. So the high pressure system that's created underneath the wing, there's a barrier between the lower,
no.
Trying to push the aeroplane moving
yeah.
through the
Hold
air.
on. So where's the barrier between the high pressure system underneath the wing and the lower pressure system below that high pressure system? Where's the barrier between those?
The wing.
No, underneath the wing. Keep going down.
Yeah, it's the wing.
So the wing's underneath the wing.
What?
What you're trying to claim, right, is right. You're trying to make out
I'm trying to claim you don't need a
need
physical barrier.
Container. You're trying to tell me that you don't.
No
need
one's
a
ever said you
container
don't need a
to get
container.
gas pressure.
No one's
Do
ever said you
or
don't
do
need a
you not?
container.
It's a simple
No.
question. Do you
No.
need a container to obtain gas pressure?
Yes, you do.
Yeah. So what are you claiming now then? What are you saying? Because that's what I'm saying. You need a container to obtain gas pressure.
I'm saying that a force can be a container.
Such as which? Such as what?
Like a downward acceleration on Earth.
A downward acceleration. You're claiming gravity is that downward acceleration? Because I know the Earth
Gravity
isn't moving.
causes gravity. Oh, the Earth definitely is
The Earth,
moving.
I know the Earth isn't moving. So what's gravity doing?
24 hours. That means that every hour it has to turn 15 degrees. And if a gyroscope
Yeah.
is mounted anywhere on Earth, it's going to drift. In today's 21st century navigation systems, they're using what's called a ring laser gyroscope. It's extremely precise. If we could simply get one of these ring laser gyroscopes, we would be able to prove once and for all that there is no rotation to the Earth. One of the people in the community actually purchased one for $20,000. But what we found is when we turned on that gyroscope, we found that we were picking up a drift, a 15 degree per hour drift.
Thanks, Bob. Sorry, you were saying the Earth isn't moving. That's weird.
Yes, that's correct.
Because it was just measured as moving.
Oh, I know. On a special instrument that was used to wasn't even designed for that. It was designed to tell the plane what angle it was flying at.
And
when it was pitching and
using
yawing
the
and
Sagnac
rolling.
effect,
That's
which
what it
you
was
can
designed
absolutely
for.
use to
Same as
measure the Earth. You can absolutely use it to measure motion.
No, it's being used. It's being used to claim that. It's being
Oh no,
used to claim
it's
that.
literally measuring that.
No, it's being used to claim that.
I mean, there's other
Because, like you
measurements
said,
as well.
this magnetic forces that you're talking about that show you that it moves.
There's no
It's a load
magnetic
of
forces
rubbish,
involved
mate.
in
It's
that.
a load of rubbish. It's been programmed in. I mean, if that was a desperate
Sorry,
attempt. That's such
15
a desperate
degree.
attempt.
Are you saying a 15-degree drift has been programmed into every interferometric gyroscope on
Yes.
the planet?
That's the reason they made one is so they could.
Oh, right. Okay, so they made interferometric
Because the normal gyro
gyroscopes to
wouldn't show
program
you
a
that.
15.
That's why, because it showed
Oh,
you that the Earth
really?
is flat.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
strange because FE Core used
I
a
know.
mechanical gyroscope to also measure a 15-degree drift. Cheers, Bob,
Oh,
once
no, they
again.
didn't.
Oh, they did.
No, they didn't.
They
No,
did.
Yes,
They,
they did.
live
No,
streamed
they
it.
didn't. Because it ain't moving. It ain't moving, mate.
But they
Yeah,
literally
it
live
is.
streamed it moving. They literally live streamed
No,
the
they
gyroscope.
didn't.
It doesn't work. And have you ever heard of mechanical gyro compasses?
Oh gosh, I need to pee.
Please tell me how a mechanical gyro compass works.
Well, they put them on the gimbal. What they do is they speed it up. They speed
No,
up
that's
the
not
gyro.
how a mechanical gyro
They
compass
put it on-
works.
Yes, it is. Because that's how it measures the pitch and roll and yaw. Because
Please
the
tell,
gyro
please
is a-
tell me
is
what
a-
mechanical
is-
gyroscope is. Mechanical gyro compass is. Do you know what
Mechanical
mechanical?
one?
Yeah, please tell me what a mechanical gyro compass is.
That is the one I'm talking about. It's the mechanical one. It has the gyro inside it. So the
No,
gyro-
no,
it has
I'm not
the
talking about a gyroscope.
spinning-
Dude,
It has
listen,
mechanically spinning.
I am
gyro.
not talking about a gyroscope. I'm talking about a gyro compass.
A compass you're talking about.
A gyro compass. Any idea?
What a gyro compass is.
Yeah. You can use Google if you like.
What, to explain to you what a gyro compass does?
Yeah, if you need to Google it and find out.
The gyro compass would be used to find out which direction you're flying in, either north, south, east, or west.
And how does it do that?
It would have to take a fixed position somewhere.
No. A gyro compass is a type of non-magnetic compass, which is based on a fast-spinning disc and the rotation of the Earth to find a geographical direction.
You can't use
so true
magnetics
north.
because that keeps,
No, I
because
just
those
said there
poles keep
it's
changing.
non-magnetic. Did you listen?
Change.
Non-magnetic.
Non-magnetic. So it's not physical then.
What?
Please listen.
And Earth movement is physical, isn't it?
Listen. A gyro compass is a
stop
type
it.
of non-mechanical. Listen. A gyro compass is a type of non-mechanical.
Oh my God,
compass,
no.
which uses a
Go away from
fast-spinning
me.
disc and the rotation of Earth to find true north.
Now, the fast spinning disc, what happens with this fast spinning disc? How did they
helps
use
you
it to
find
measure
true
it?
north. Because
How
using
did
the
they
fast,
use it?
using the
Do
spinning
they not
disc
use
and the
gimbal
rotation of
arms,
the
they're
Earth.
trying to explain to you, so they could measure how far it moved. Do they not put it on the gimbal because it's in a fixed position?
That's
isn't
not
it?
how gyro compasses work. Goodness me.
No, you wanted to find direction, isn't it? It's how gyro works, isn't it?
Okay, so
Gyros work from a fixed position.
right, so it's a spinning wheel mounted on a set of gimbals, so its axis is free to orientate itself in any way. When it's
That's
spun up to
correct.
speed,
On a
listen,
gimbal.
when it is spun up to speed with its axis pointing in some direction, due to the law of conservation of angular momentum, such a wheel will normally maintain its original orientation to a fixed point in outer space. Since our planet rotates, it appears to be stationary observer on Earth that the gyroscope's axis is completing a full rotation once every 24 hours. So, why, when you use a mechanical gyro compass mounted on a set of gimbals, do you get a rotation which you can literally use to find true north from?
True north?
Yes.
Is there a true north?
Ow!
You mean magnetic
Do me a favour,
north,
Barry.
don't you?
Do me a favour,
You
right?
mean magnetic north?
Before you say something as
Yeah?
dumb as that, please
You're referring
let
to
me know.
magnetic north?
No.
What is that?
Because we've got more than one North Pole, haven't we? And we've got more than one South Pole, haven't we?
Barry, how does a mechanical gyro compass point you towards true north? Hey, how does it work?
Magnetically.
Did you not listen? It's a non-magnetic compass.
No, it's a magnetic compass.
No, a gyro compass is a non-magnetic compass.
No, it's a magnetic compass.
It's literally in the definition of what a gyro compass is.
No, it's a magnetic compass.
So you're saying that gyro compasses that are literally defined as non-magnetic compasses are magnetic?
Yes. They will operate through magnetism.
Then why are they non-magnetic?
Then how are they finding true, what you class as true north?
By the spinning disk maintaining its axis relative to distant planets?
To the planets?
The different... It maintains its relative position in 3D space. But Barry, you can read, right? So can you just...
Where did you gain the ability to go into space?
Could you just read that for me, what it says?
You know, you paused it. It's gone out of focus. You paused it. All the writings. You paused it even worse. Bit better. That was a bit better.
I haven't done anything.
No, because it's changing. It's yeah,
I'll read
it.
I'll read it for you, right?
Yeah,
Gyro
look at
compass.
that. I mean, look at that.
Gyro
Can
compass.
anybody else see that? Can anybody else see that?
Right, just listen,
No,
Barry.
come on now. That audio word's gone again.
Barry, just listen. I'll read it to you. It's okay.
I'm listening.
Gyro
I'm listening.
compass. A gyro compass
Yeah.
is a type of non-magnetic compass. So can you tell me again how a gyro compass uses magnetism when it's a
No, but
non-magnetic
can you tell
compass?
me why you're trying to ask me all these silly questions when I was asking you a simple question? Can you prove that you can use gravity to hold gas on the planet's surface?
Yes, the downward acceleration of gravity has
No, you
been
tell
verified.
me, but you can't prove it, can you?
Yes, well, science doesn't prove anything anyway, but I can
Yes,
experimentally.
No, not your science doesn't prove anything anyway.
No.
That's the
Do
trouble.
you know what type of science? Barry, do you know what type of science does prove things? Do you know what type of science does prove things? Barry, hold on. Barry, do you know what type of science does prove things?
Ah!
No, that would be pseudoscience. That would be pseudoscience that proves things. Because
real science.
there is literally no such thing.
Experiment.
There is literally no such thing as scientific proof. That's not a thing that exists.
Oh, so what was Marcus and Morley doing there? What were they doing?
They were experimenting to test the hypothesis.
Yeah, and isn't that how they prove?
Nope.
No, you don't prove.
Science does not prove things. Science gives nice or
Barry,
really good.
Go to Google and type,
what's the word?
Is there such thing as scientific
God damn it, I forgot the word, but it's not proof.
Oh right, so I changed the science books.
No, you're the person that keeps you're professing their garbage. You're professing their garbage. You're trying to make it sound as if you don't know enough garbage about this, that, and the other. You don't know. You can't prove that gas can stick to the outside of a ball.
Oh, we've proven gravity.
My question is,
we have experimentally validated gravity.
Right? Is saying, look,
you are very,
if you can't actually prove something that is perfectly natural according to you, you can't even actually prove a natural occurrence. Then
we can absolutely demonstrate that gravity is a real thing. It's been experimentally demonstrated many, many times.
No, not holding back air, not holding air next to a vacuum.
Nothing about our gravity and what is supposed to be says that it should do that on a small
naturally. Scale. That's what your problem is.
Yeah, we have proven, we have shown with experiments. We have shown with experiments that it is absolutely possible for gravity to hold the atmosphere to Earth. We have absolutely demonstrated that gravity is a real thing through experimentation. And what we say gravity is, with the formula Fg equals gm1m2 over r squared, says that Earth's atmosphere would stick to Earth. It's simple as that. You not understanding physics, Barry, is not an argument against it.
The problem with you just saying that, it means you can't actually prove it. You have to just
it's been absolutely demonstrated many, many times with many experiments.
Because you can't show me an example. The only
I can show you experiments.
Is some magnetism around some plasma, and that was your example.
I can show you
of gas.
Barry, I can show you that gravity has been experimentally validated.
No, you can't show me that gravity can hold gas to the surface of a ball.
If gravity has the attractive force, if gravity has the attractive force that we say it does, then it absolutely can hold the mass of the atmosphere to the Earth.
Only if it truly exists.
Well, it does. Gravity has been experimentally verified to exist.
No, it doesn't.
Doesn't matter.
No, it hasn't.
Just ignoring all the experiments.
It has not.
Okay, do me a favor then, Barry. Can you please present me with an experiment that experimentally validates gravity to not exist?
Yes.
Go on then.
Gas around the ball inside a vacuum.
So, and you've done that in an experiment, have you?
You can't do it. That's what I'm telling you. It can't be done.
So you can't present me with an experiment that shows that it can't be done.
Physically impossible.
Can you present me with an experiment?
It's natural and normal.
Cool. Can you present me with an experiment to back that up? Can you present me with an experiment to back that up, please?
Yes. The fact that you can't present me with an experiment that says it can happen.
No, that's not what I asked you. I can present you with many experiments that says it can happen.
Oh, okay.
Can you present me with any that says it can?
Let's try Biosphere 2.
Cool.
Biosphere 2.
And do you want to explain to me why there was a atmospheric pressure gradient inside Biosphere 2?
Because it was a closed system.
Yep, so why was there a gradient?
Because it's a closed system.
Yeah, but that doesn't explain why there is a gradient.
It does. Can you explain it on an open system?
Doesn't matter, it's not an open system.
Well, there you go then. It's only in a closed system you will get that, isn't it?
Please explain to me why there is a gradient.
Because we are in a closed system.
That doesn't explain the gradient,
it does.
Barry.
It explains the fact that you've got gas pressure.
No, I'm not asking about pressure. I'm asking about gradient.
Gas pressure. And you can't have gas pressure without containment.
There is containment. It's called the downward acceleration.
Yeah. Is that the one they used on Biosphere? Is that the one, the downward acceleration? Did they
that
need downward acceleration?
they were creating a
They just
completely
needed a
closed
solid
different
cover.
system.
They just
But
needed a solid cover.
inside that cover,
Yes.
there was still
Yes.
a gradient, which meant that there was higher pressure at the bottom and
Correct.
lower pressure at the top, which requires an
Correct.
acceleration.
Correct.
Yes, it does. It
Yes.
requires an acceleration.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you're saying Earth.
So what is that
you're saying
acceleration?
Earth as a ball is exposed to the vacuum on all sides, but there's nothing around it except gravity that's holding that gas there. That's what
Yeah.
you're trying to tell me.
That's exactly the
That's
fact.
rubbish, mate. That's rubbish.
Can you present me with an
That's
experiment
rubbish.
that shows it to be rubbish, please?
Yes, I just presented you with one.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You showed me an experiment that shows that gas
What do
pressure
you
can
think-
be
what do you
contained
think the
inside a
Biosphere
physical
Project
container.
is? What do you think the Biosphere project is?
What?
What do you think it is?
It's an experiment
Where did you learn to
An
fly?
experiment for what?
for supposed space exposure to space on another planet, they claim.
Yeah, without planets without atmospheres that we
So,
can breathe.
without atmospheres. And which ones are the ones without atmospheres?
Without atmospheres that we
The
can
round
breathe.
ones.
No. Without atmospheres that we can breathe.
To be honest,
Mars.
right, I don't even know if
listen,
we've got
listen.
atmosphere because nobody
Mars
can get
still
near them
has
anyway.
Mars still has an atmosphere. We just can't breathe it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Mars has, yeah. Yeah, they've been there, they know.
No one's been to Mars
They
yet.
know.
Give it 20
Nobody's
years.
been to Mars. Nothing's been to Mars.
Do you know Mars is a planet entirely populated by robots? That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's right.
Well, no, I don't need to believe it. We can watch the feed
Yeah,
with
you
rovers.
As far as we know, there's no. Well, at least right now there
That's it.
isn't really any life left on Mars.
Show you
But
plenty.
there probably is. There's probably
Hey,
some
Barry,
kind
Barry,
of
do you
like
think that
micro
do
thing,
you think that
bacteria
I
and
think that
stuff.
when
There
Musk gets
there
landed
has
on
to be.
Mars,
There is
there's
no
gonna be
chance that
people
there is no
there
life on
20 or
Mars.
50 years.
I
Wait,
think you're
hold on.
scared to
I'm
admit.
asking you a
You're
question.
scared
I'm
to
asking you a
admit.
question. Barry,
Right,
hold on.
you're scared
I'm
to
asking you a
admit.
It's
question.
just not like there's no
But, well, Earth's
no
not flat,
animals.
it's been
You
measured,
sound,
so-
you sound like a devil screaming because the truth has been spoken into your ears.
Barry, you're a Poe. We all know you can stop. It's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are a Poe.
But you are talking. You
do
are
you
talking
think,
shite, mate.
Barry? Do you think
Seriously.
that do you think
You
that in
seriously
like
are.
500
You
years?
think you can have gas
Hold on,
pressure on
hold
a
on,
ball
Barry.
that's inside a vacuum?
Yeah.
You think you can have gas pressure on the outside of a ball that's inside
Yeah,
a
it's
vacuum?
experimentally demonstrated that
That's
that's
the
a
stupidest
fact.
Why is
thing
he
I've ever heard.
attacking me?
And then you're
What is
claiming that same
wrong
ball
with
is
you
spinning
Barry?
and
Oh, it's been measured to rotate. So, Barry, I've got a question for you. Though.
right, yeah, of
I've
course
got-
it
I've got
has,
a question for you.
It's
I've
took
got a
until to what, to 2020 to measure it.
Barry,
Yeah.
I've got
All
a
those
question for you.
years.
Hold on, I've got a question for you. So, in like 500 years, when there's this massive colony on Mars, do you think there's going to be a bunch of people that are like, nah,
Do you really think
Mars
we're
is
gonna be
flat?
I'll
Hold
tell
on,
you what.
I'm
Mars
asking
is
you a
flat.
question.
I
Don't
bet you
interrupt
The
me.
Earth does not exist.
Don't interrupt. me.
GG.
Do you think that in 500 years, when there's loads of people on Mars, there's going to be a faction of them that are like, nah, Mars is flat. We never came here in spaceships. Science is a lie. Do you think like retards like you are going to pass on your genes and go to Mars?
Do you really think that people are going to go to Mars?
Absolutely, yeah.
You really? But that's the problem, you see. You're daft enough to believe that that's going to happen.
Why wouldn't it happen?
Why
Probably,
haven't
maybe,
anything like that
yes.
happened? Why aren't we in orbit already? Why aren't we taking little trips into orbit already?
Because the technology is only being built right now.
What?
SpaceX
You
and
mean
Blue
the technology
Origins.
to go through two radiation barriers
Fuck
and go all the way to the
you.
moon and come back?
Hey,
No.
Barry, do you want to
Technology to survive.
this amazing
out there.
special shielding that I've got that can block most of the radiation in space?
Yeah, yeah.
I've got some of this really high tech amazing shielding that can block
I know.
like the majority of the
Fantastic.
radiation. Are you ready? I've got some of it with me.
Yes. Brilliant. Oh, wow.
Piece of paper.
Yeah, it's paper.
Yeah.
Most of the radiation they
Yeah.
receive can be blocked with this shit, mate.
Yeah, of course it can. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I can't disagree with that. I mean,
Come on, Larry.
it's all fantasy anyway. So
Do you also believe in
force
the
field.
Tooth Fairy
That
and
piece of
Santa
paper's a
Claus?
force field. It's a force field, mate.
Do you believe in Santa Claus, Barry?
No.
Are you sure? Because you believe in silly things like the flat Earth. Are you more of a Tooth Fairy?
Yeah,
man?
well, if it's that silly, how come it makes more sense than what you're talking?
Well, it doesn't make any sense at all.
That we're in an enclosed environment.
Ask any scientist ever.
Well,
doesn't make any
you've
sense.
just seen it as a class. You know now.
Now, Barry,
And you're living
what
in
what
denial.
what does?
They
Do me
explained
a favor.
mass
Do me a
may
favor.
not pass the boundary.
Do me a
They
favor.
did explain to
Do
you.
me a favor. Explain to me what Earth being an open or closed system has anything to do with the fact
Because
that
you
it's
have
still a
gas
globe.
at pressure, and you have the exact same situation you have on the inside
And
of a
please
biosphere.
tell me why we can't have gas pressure.
Because it would all entropy, it would all go off into space. You can't have gas pressure right next to a vacuum.
You can if there's an
can't.
acceleration acting the other way.
No,
though,
there'd
can't
have
you?
to be there'd have to be a barrier.
There
There'd
is.
have to be a
Oh
barrier.
god, I need
There is. It's
skinning
called
so
accelerating.
bad.
Physical barrier. You'd
I'm,
have to have a physical barrier.
No, you don't need physical
I
barriers.
want the
between
monies.
There was a stipulation. He made 3
I
stipulations.
want them skinning monies.
The only
did?
energy, which is light and temperature, may pass the barrier, the border.
Yeah, okay.
Solid
but
mass may not pass. That is what a closed system is.
Okay, now it doesn't really matter
Okay.
because Earth's still blue and gravity
Okay.
exists. You
Yeah, well,
haven't
like I said,
debunked
like
that.
I asked you in the original question, can you explain how that's possible? Because you can't do it with gravity.
You can do it with
You haven't
gravity,
yet.
absolutely.
In our 2 conversations that we've got, 3, 4 conversations we've had, you've never yet proved it. You keep saying you've got it.
I have many. I've shown you experiments that show gravity to be a fact.
No, you didn't. When I asked you, you said
You can
could
go
get around
nutter
the
all you
ball.
like.
Fuck off,
You can
that's
go
mine.
nutter all you like, Barry.
Nah.
But I have shown you that pressure can exist next to low pressure with no physical
No,
barrier.
You keep you're taking natural density and buoyancy and trying to claim that it's gravity.
Sorry,
You're
buoyancy.
taking natural
Please,
density and buoyancy
please
and claiming
define
it's
buoyancy.
gravity.
Wait, buoyancy. Please define buoyancy
Yes.
for me.
The ability to float in the element you're in.
And what's the formula for buoyancy?
Why do you want the formula for buoyancy?
Because that defines what buoyancy is, right? Whatever the formula for it is.
But when you haven't yet proved gravity.
And I need to
Well,
pee.
you've just used buoyancy, right?
No,
So-
you're trying to you're trying
No,
to
hold on.
confuse it. You're trying to confuse
I'm not trying to
the issue.
confuse anything.
God.
I asked
You did you or did you
you're
not say
claiming
buoyancy?
To be the one with all the knowledge.
Did you or did you
I
not
asked you,
say
How
buoyancy?
can you have gas at
Did
pressure
you-
around the ball
Gravity.
that's inside a vacuum?
Gravity.
I'm just clarifying. I'm
Gravity.
clarifying.
Gravity is the answer.
Yeah, you can't.
Now,
because
Barry.
you can't use gravity to experiment
Yes, I can.
to show that it's true. You can't.
Many experiments. Cavendish, Schehelian, Pound Replica, Edison in
That
1919,
means
the discovery of
that's an answer
Neptune.
of no, then, isn't it?
I
that's a no,
I
then,
just told you 5 experiments that show that gravity is real.
You've not shown me gravity can hold air to a ball that's in a
I can-
vacuum.
I can show you
have
with
not shown
experiment.
me.
Barry, listen to this. I can show you
In fact,
via
you tried to
experiment.
fob me
Barry,
off with some lie about,
Barry, shh. Barry, I can show you via experiment that the formula Fg equals gm1 m2 over r squared is valid.
Not in real life, you can't. That's when
Yes,
your
I
biggest
can.
problem starts.
I
You can't
absolutely
do it
can.
In real life.
I can. It's
You
been
can't.
done by friends
You
of mine.
cannot show me gas around the ball inside
can
a
sh-
vacuum. You
I can
can't.
show you that gravity can do that, though. I
No,
can show you that
can't
the
use
force of
gravity to
attraction
do that,
we
can you?
claim.
You
Yes,
can't
we
use
can.
gravity to do the thing you're claiming it's doing naturally.
Yes, we can.
You're claiming
You can look at
gravity to do
Earth.
it naturally.
Yes, look at Earth.
Oh,
We
Look
don't
at
claim
Earth.
that's
I'm
it doing
looking
it
at flat
naturally.
surfaces here, mate.
No,
I'm
there's a
seeing
curve.
flatness.
Really?
We look
Do
up
me a
at the
favor.
clouds and see flatness. I look at the
pi-
ground, you see flatness.
Pilot
You're
friend of
telling
mine.
me it's not. It's a
Pilot
ball.
friend of mine took this the other day. Tell me where all the flatness is.
Everything that leads up to your horizon.
Sorry.
What?
So do you not see the curve there?
Where? On the horizon or on the ball that you're claiming it is that leads up to the horizon?
Do you not see the curve there from left to right?
I can see a bit of a curve, yes.
Oh, there we go then. Earth's curved. Game over.
Is it? What? Earth's curved?
Well, yeah, I just
said
showed you the
ball.
curve
You've
of the
got a
Earth.
picture of a ball. What? You've just shown me a ball. You've shown me.
I've
You tell me you
literally
showed
just
me a
shown you
ball
the-
or a plate. Was
I've
that a ball or a
literally-
plate?
It's quite clear. You
Was
tell me which
90%
plates
of that
look like
picture
this.
flatness or not?
No, none of this is
Yes,
flatness.
it is. Everything leading up to that horizon is flat.
What the fuck are you on about?
I'm on about the picture you're showing me. Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Or are you trying to put it?
Leading.
Everything
I'm not
leading
trying
up
to
to your
fuzz anything.
horizon is flat. Hello?
Have you measured it?
Can you see it? Isn't that the purpose of you showing it?
Have you? Right. Have you measured
No, but can
everything?
you see it? It's a picture.
No, I can't see any flatness there.
No, you can't, can you?
I can see the curve.
It's
I can
flat. It's not curved downwards. It's
Barry,
flat.
have you measured that to confirm that it's flat?
Did you ask me to measure it, or did you ask me to look at it?
You've just said
did
it's
you ask
flat.
me to look at it or measure it? Which is it?
You've just made a claim. You said it's flat. How can you say that that's flat?
You asked me what do I see?
Yeah, and you said you see flat,
Now,
so
I'll
you're
explain
clearly
to
a
you what I
liar
see.
or a Poe.
Well, what are you saying you see then? Are you saying that the surface that you see leading up to that horizon you say is curved isn't flat? It doesn't look flat to you?
No, nothing there looks flat.
No. So the sun, so that little sunlight off to the left now, doesn't that give it a giveaway? The way it's shining, it's not on a curve, is it?
I mean, it clearly is
That's
on a curve.
flatness all the way to the edge.
I mean,
I know.
are you looking at the same picture as me?
You don't want to admit.
Are you
I
actually
understand.
looking at the same picture as me?
I don't know because you put the picture up. I mean,
You do see the picture of.
I've got a metal object in front of me with the sky straight stretched out ahead.
Yeah, and you're
And
claiming
clouds.
that there's flatness there.
Right, you're saying there's rotundity now then?
Puppy Ash, no, this isn't Riley. Trust me, this is just some other idiot. Riley wouldn't come on my show without me
That's flat though,
demonetizing
isn't
it.
it?
No, it's not
So,
flat, quite clearly.
That's flat though, isn't it, mate?
You can
White.
see the curve
Does that
there,
look
Barry.
like does that look like a top of a ball, you're saying? You're saying that looks like a top of a ball?
Yeah, if you're
to you?
really fucking close to it.
Nowhere near. I mean, the best you could come up with is edge curved. That's the best you've come up. You didn't mention
Yeah,
anything
because
about
it's the curve of the fucking
you
Earth, you
looked at it.
moron.
Because everywhere from underneath this camera to out to where you see it is flat.
It's not. Nothing there is flat, Barry. You're literally
Nothing is
denying what you're
flat.
seeing in front of you.
I'm all telling you. You're the
You're
one denying.
literally denying what you're seeing in front of you.
All right.
There are
Alright,
people
okay.
in the chat that think you're Sleeping Warrior, but
Yeah,
no,
but
he
you're
isn't
telling
Sleeping
me
Warrior.
you can't see how flat that is. That's what you're saying.
There isn't any
can't
flatness
see-
there.
Yes, there is.
Is there a
Everything at
curve?
the bottom half of that picture,
Barry,
leading up to the edge.
Is there a
up
curve?
to the horizon?
Is there a curve to the
orange
left
bit-
or right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Therefore, there's a curve.
Yes. Yes.
So,
there's a
are
curve
you
to it.
claiming that the Earth is a cylinder?
No. I'm telling you, you're looking at here. It's basically.
He sounds like a more chubby version of
You got
So
flatness all the way out
you're
to the
saying
edge.
that you're saying
Of
that this is seeing
Sleeping
all the way
Warrior.
to the edge of flat
Flatness all
Earth.
the way to the edge. That's
Are you
what I'm
saying? Are you
that's what I'm telling
saying?
you.
Are you saying that this sees?
And
all
yes,
the way
I
to the edge
know
of
that
flat
Sleeping Warrior already
No,
is a
I'm saying you see all
chubster.
the way to the edge of your vision, and up to the edge of your vision, you can see flatness, which automatically, straight away, tells you that the black swan definitely kicked you in the face, hasn't it? He's just come back and kicked you in the face again. You just took a picture
What are you
of a
on
flat
about?
surface with
It's
a
not
curved,
flat.
with a curved edge.
There's a horizon there, which means it's not flat.
What do you mean there's a horizon? It means it's not flat.
You can't have a horizon on a flat
Is it
Earth.
round or not?
Yes,
shouldn't it be
and that's
curved
why there's
in
a
all
fucking curve.
directions?
And it is curving in all
It's not
directions.
curved in all
You
directions,
can't
mate.
see the
So look at
compressed
it.
perspective
It's
when
flat.
you're right fucking close to it. Barry,
It's
what do you
flat,
think?
mate.
Barry, what do you think a ball would look like if you were right up close to it?
What do you mean? What would it look like? It would look like a ball. I've got something right in front of me right now that's round
Right.
at the top of my
Now,
mic.
Bring it
Yeah,
right
you
up
don't
to
need
your
to be that far
eye.
away to see how round it is. You don't really
Now,
need to be that far.
get as close as this plane would be to the surface. Like, you know, if it's on your mic, you're probably going to literally need to put your eyeball on the fucking mic.
Yeah, but an 8-inch from our drop, right? That's not there, is it? Come on. That's just not there.
Literally there in front of you, the curve.
What? I know what you're talking about on the curve on the horizon. You're
Yeah,
trying to tell
and
me
if
that
there's a curve on the
horizon's curved.
horizon, and then
Yeah.
the Earth is curved.
Yeah,
This is
well,
this
if
is
you were
what
looking
this
across-
is
are
the
you telling me
prediction.
That's not what you'd
This
see if
is
you
the
were looking across the
prediction.
plate.
This
Are
is
you
the
saying
no,
that's not what you'd see?
not if you only if you could see all the
If
way
you
to
were
the
looking
edge
across
of
the
the.
plate from that
Barry,
angle, you'd
I'm
see
trying
the
to
sun.
answer the question, but you keep talking. If you were to look all the way to the edge of the plate, you would see that.
Yeah. Yes.
But that would mean that you are claiming that this is looking all the way to the edge of the flat Earth.
No, I did explain myself, which means you weren't listening. I said it's as far as you could see.
Yeah, and if it was just as far as you could see, there's no reason it would be curved.
Yes, but it's flat all the way out to the where you're claiming the curved edges.
You're claiming it's flat, but I'm saying that that is curved. It's
you
compressed
asked me
perspective.
what I can see, didn't you?
All right, so
And
you're
I'm telling
blind.
you what
Cool.
I can
You're,
see.
right, so you're blind. No worries.
So I'm telling you, you're saying you can see a curve, and I'm saying you can see flatness. It's flat all the way up to
Well,
the
I mean,
curve.
everybody knows that you're just lying at this point, Barry.
And gruel down there.
Because you're literally looking at curve and going, no, it's flat.
No, you asked me if
Somewhere
the edge was curved.
down
You asked me
there
about
is
horizon.
gruel.
You said
I'm gonna
it's curved to the
ask
horizon.
you.
I
Right,
said yes,
I'm gonna
didn't
ask you
I?
to. I'm gonna ask you to prove to me right now that there is flatness in this picture.
What do you mean prove to you? What,
You're the one-
if
you're the one
you're
making the
telling me
claim.
I can't prove it's flat, how are you proving it's round?
Well, I can
How are
say
you
that
proving that's a ball?
that matches predictions.
What predictions? That it's flat all the way out to the curve?
That what you're seeing there matches the predictions of what you should see at that elevation.
At that elevation, you're going to see mostly clouds, and the clouds are going to sit flat, and that's what they're doing. And you're saying no, they ain't.
At that elevation, that's exactly what you should see.
They would. They'd be sitting flat, as they
But
do
they're
in
not-
the,
nothing
as they
there
do
is
in
flat.
the foreground at the back there. The background.
Nothing there is
You can
flat.
see yeah. There you
Barry,
go.
it's clearly the land that you can
So
see.
you can see flatness all the way to the end.
No, you can't. You're claiming you can,
Yes,
but
you can.
if you're claiming
Well,
that, you're
I'm
going to need to
saying-
prove it.
Well, you asked me what I can see. I cannot see that curving down towards that. That's what I'm saying.
Well, then that you don't understand how
You're not on a
perspective
ball.
works.
That's
or...
for certain. Because it's not.
I mean,
curving
measurements
down
disagree with you,
towards that.
Barry. Right. Now, okay, I'm going to ask you some simple questions now. Can you please present to me just one, and I'm not asking much here, I would like just one working map of the flat Earth.
I did actually. I presented two. One of them was with the 6 aeroplane flights, and the other one was the aeroplane flight map for the Second World War.
And you say those are accurate flat maps.
Well, let's put it this way: they've got to be accurate because the emergency stops prove it, don't they?
No, all emergency stops work on the globe. You have to be a certain
They
distance
don't
from
because
certain places.
he does explain using a globe and using a flat map.
Yeah,
He
but
does explain it in the video.
the emergency
He shows
stops are,
you in the video.
Barry, emergency stops are literally dictated by
No,
what routes,
emergency stops are dictated by.
I'm
the
sorry. Once
emergency.
again, did the beginning of your sentence?
They're dictated by the emergency.
No,
you
they're
don't
not.
plan an emergency stop. You plan
Yes, you
in
do.
case you have an emergency
No,
stop.
no. Yeah, but there is certain places that they have to go when they have emergency stops.
Only depending on where they are in the journey.
Yeah,
And if
and
you
it all
take
matches
a
a
flat
globe.
map journey and you look across it and you see which way he's going, where he was coming from,
Okay,
where they're going
Barry,
to,
Barry,
you
right.
draw a straight line
So,
and you
please,
find
right,
what's
show me-
right in the
show me the
center
flat
where
map.
the emergency stop
Show
was.
me the
Oh,
flat.
dear.
Show me the accurate flat map that you're talking about. Send it to me on email, please.
Okay, doke.
And it has to be accurate with like every distance on it.
Yeah, why not? The globe definitely isn't. That's why
Oh,
they
the
never
globe.
use
What?
it.
Oh no, the globe 100% is accurate. I've used that to navigate the planet.
Of course you have. Yeah.
Yeah, I have. It was literally my job in the military. We're going for about another 10-15 minutes, and then I'm going to read the super chats
Yeah.
because then I've got my next debate with Pig Slapper Oink.
Nice one.
Nice, Sue.
I'm 95% convinced you're a po though, Barry.
Yeah, of course you are, because you're a baller.
A normal
You
person,
deny
yes.
the truth. You do. You
Oh,
need to
you're
deny the truth.
deny. Says the guy who looks at this and goes, "That's flat."
You tried
That's
to fob me
rich.
off. You tried to fob me off with some
You're the guy that
garbage
says
about
that north
magnetism.
is up
I'm just
and
giving you
south
this, I'm
is
just
down.
giving you this thing. You tried to fob me off. The fact that you can't even be honest proves that you
I'm
never
always
tell the
honest.
truth. You tell the truth, and you're not capable of.
I'm
it
always
proves
honest.
I was right. The fact that you had to cheat proves I was
I didn't
right.
cheat at all. I showed you
It
high
does.
pressure next to low pressure without a physical barrier.
No, you showed me magnetism at work against or using plasma. That's what
Did
you
I show
showed
you?
me.
Did
And
and
you knew
please,
it was-
please
and
tell
you
me,
knew that was-
please tell me what about the second law, Barry? All right, no, all right, okay. Tell me what about the second law of thermodynamics says
You
that it
lied.
has. Barry,
Mate, you lied.
listen.
Wow,
You
why
Barry,
is this
tell
thing
me
is
what about the second law of thermodynamics
Oh
says
my
it has to be
god.
specifically gas?
See, now you're trying to get away with it. You lied.
No, I'm asking you a question.
That thing
Your
is
entire
really,
claim is
really
that
bad.
it violated the second law of thermodynamics. Please tell me what about the second law of thermodynamics specifically mentions gas
You're
pressure.
claiming that solids can leave the boundary. You're claiming
Yes.
that solids can leave the boundary.
Tiny, tiny, tiny amounts that pretty much amount to zero.
No, you're claiming a lot are. You're claiming that all these satellites are leaving and all. And
Yeah, and
all that
compared to
sort
the
of
mass
stuff
of the
going
Earth,
on.
compared to the mass
They
of the
don't
Earth,
leave-
that is
they don't
practically
pass the
zero.
boundary. That's why they can only stay in low Earth orbit.
Compared to the there's an orbit,
can't-
then Earth's a globe.
They can't crack. They
You
can't.
can't
cross the
orbit around the
boundary.
flat plane.
It's a solid boundary.
There is no solid
They've
boundary.
made me lose my place on us.
Ooh.
There is no solid boundary. There definitely is
There
not
is.
a firmament. No, there
There is.
absolutely isn't. No, there really isn't.
They're not telling you that.
No, there really isn't. People have. Like, a friend of mine sent something to space
Yeah.
and didn't see
What
any
I'll tell you
barrier.
what you're scared of. You're scared of the fact that when people realise that it is a flat Earth, that maybe they might think that God has actually created it. That's what you're scared of.
God, magic sky daddy,
Yes.
cool story, bro.
Yeah. Like your magic gravity.
Gravity's not magic. It's experimentally verified.
Yeah, it is. It seems to make planets spin around each other, and then it seems to drag things onto it, onto
Yeah.
solid rock.
Uh huh.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
magnetism. Only it
No,
makes things
it's
dance.
gravity.
Yeah.
I mean, you not understanding orbital mechanics again isn't an argument against anything.
I don't
Barry.
need to. I know that you're talking
No,
about
no,
the
you don't
backside,
need to.
and I know you can't actually prove that
So
gas
where's-
sticks to the outside of a ball.
Oh, I
that
can, I
inside-
can literally show
inside
you.
a vacuum. You're talking out your backside. That's why you can't prove it. That's why you're coming up with all this asking me stupid questions, because you can't prove it.
Sorry,
Simple as.
Barry. I can literally show you pictures of it.
Yeah, pictures, right? No experiments. Nothing.
Yeah,
You're talking out your backside.
Sorry.
Because
Again,
you know it's
would
not
you like me to
physically
list the
possible.
5 experiments? That,
You
that-
know
again,
it's not physically possible.
Barry. If you say no experiments, then you have to debunk.
No, I'm saying
Cavendish?
you're only going to bullshit me and lie. You're only going to bullshit me
No,
and
no,
lie.
no.
That's
You
what
said no
said.
experiments. There is
No,
Cavendish.
you
Barry.
said that you could prove this is true, and you did.
Yeah,
And you
with
still
experiments.
haven't. You just keep bring on about
With
we can prove
experiments.
we can prove this. We can prove. No, you can't because you.
With
at the end of the day,
experiments.
You're talking about a ball.
Barry, with
inside
experiments.
Gas inside a vacuum.
Barry.
Not physically
With
possible.
experiments, I can demonstrate it to be a fact.
No, you can't.
Yes, I
You come
can.
up with lies like you just did.
No, I absolutely can.
You'll just come up with more lies like you just did.
So, are you saying I'm lying about the Cavendish experiment, the Pound replica experiment, the Eddington experiment in
No, I'm
1919,
saying
the
you're
discovery of
lying because
Neptune,
Earth is
the
a
Schehelian
ball. It
experiment?
can't possibly be a ball and do all the things that you're claiming it's doing. It can't
Apart
possibly
from
be
the experiments
whiz-
that
whizzing
demonstrate.
through space.
Do you deny the
You can't
scientific method,
possibly
Barry?
doing that.
Barry,
It's not physically possible.
Do you deny the scientific method?
Yes.
You're the one that's doing the denying of the scientific method.
No,
You're
no,
the
I
one
can
claiming
use the
that
scientific
proof
method.
doesn't work as long as you've got somebody to say that they've got a
I
scientific
can use.
proof that
I can
it
use the
doesn't
scientific.
work.
I can
You're
use the
one
scientific
claiming
method,
that
Barry.
physics isn't true.
No. I claim physics is true. I can use the scientific
No,
method
you're
to
claiming
demonstrate
that you
gravity
can
is
pass
real.
a barrier that physics says it isn't passable. That's what you're saying.
No, physics doesn't say that. Please tell me where
Yes,
you got
it
your
does.
physics
He
degree.
gives you an example. He gives you
Where's
a
your,
solid.
where did you study physics, Barry?
Where did I need to? MIT.
You went to MIT, did you?
Yes.
So another lie.
Oh, you're telling me a lie.
Well,
So what
you
did
also
I
know that
learn?
you also know that MIT is an
See,
engineering
class
college,
you were
right? Not a
watching
physics
when
college.
you were trying to claim that the closed system doesn't work, as long as you've got some garbage excuse to say that you might get a microcosm of solid mass through. You're talking out your backside, mate.
Apart from all the, I can use the scientific method to demonstrate gravity to be a fact.
You can't, because the
I can.
scientific method proves that you're wrong.
Well, the
It
scientific
proves that
method
you're
doesn't
wrong.
prove anything. That's not what science does.
Actually, prove bullshit excuse that there's too much gravity about. It's proof that you're wrong.
So, are you still claiming that science proves things?
I'm saying yes, it does. That's the whole purpose of it.
I mean, that's literally not what only pseudoscience actually proves.
I
things.
know you want to say that. I know you want to believe that because you know that you're talking out your backside.
Where's this
You
email,
know
Barry?
that What I'm telling you
I'm
makes
waiting
sense.
for the-
you
I'm
know
waiting
you
for the
can't
flat
get
map,
gas
Barry.
pressure without it being inside a solid container. You ain't going to do it.
Yes, you can.
And you're trying to tell us the Earth is doing it while it's spinning and waltzing around the sun.
Yeah,
Stop
there's a
talking
downward
out your
acceleration
backside
that
for
you
a
have to
change.
overcome.
It's not physically possible.
How do you overcome
An idiot can tell
downward
you that, and
acceleration?
I'm an idiot, and I'm telling you that.
You are an
can't
idiot,
do it.
yes.
It's
You
not
are
physically
absolutely
possible.
an idiot.
It's not physically possible.
You say that, but experiments, the scientific method says that you're wrong.
No, your experiments are just an excuse to come up with to say that you can use gravity.
So you
which
do
can't
deny
actually
the
use
so
to
you
prove
do
in an
deny the
experiment
scientific
that shows
method.
gas.
So you do deny
You
the
talk-
scientific method.
No, you're denying it. You're denying that. You're saying that physics is wrong.
No, I'm not. Physics says that everything
A closed
is right.
system can have solid going in and out.
Yeah, because you can have a virtually closed system in science.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, you can. I'm waiting for
Yeah,
this
you can.
email of the flat map.
You can. You can.
So again, where did you study physics?
MIT, mate.
Except for MIT is a engineering school, not a physics
Yeah,
school.
well.
So
Yeah,
you
we're
wouldn't
going to
study
use physics,
physics
aren't
there. Yeah, they don't teach physics there. They teach engineering.
Right, fair enough.
So where did you get your physics education from?
I'm just getting you this one of these maps first.
Just while I've got you here, would you like to debate the existence of God with one
I'm
of my
not going.
subscribers
I'm
one
not
day?
going anywhere. I'm not. The existence of God through genetics. Genetics.
Yeah, would you like to
Genetics.
debate? Would you like to debate the existence of God?
Genetics. You can't have genetics
Yeah,
without
I'm not.
God.
I'm
You
not
can't
asking
have
you to Barry. Hold on. I'm not asking you to debate me. Chill out.
Sorry.
I'm saying, would you like to debate the existence of God with one of my subscribers because I can set that up?
The existence of God. No, I'm busy debating the existence of gas around a ball.
Yeah, I don't mean right now. Would you like to debate at another time the existence of God with someone who is very well versed in the subject?
I believe in the existence of God. Yes.
Would you like to debate that? Yes or no? Fuck me.
Whether he exists or not, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. One time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem with that.
Everyone that isn't subscribed to J.L. Warren, please subscribe to him. I will set up a debate between this numpty
Yes, I
and
will.
J.L. Warren about the existence of God. So I'm still waiting for that email with the flat map. I'll give you another 5 minutes, then I need to read super chats. And
Yeah. No problem. No problem. I just got so many on here.
Goodness me. Yeah, I know.
I've got more than one tab open. That's all. That's all. I've got more than one
Oh,
tab
you're
open.
doing high IQ research. I understand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one thing we never got round to. You did mention buoyancy, and just so you know, the equation for buoyancy is rho v g, and that g stands for gravity. So when you say buoyancy, you admit to the existence of gravity.
I'm just copying the address. You say do it through the email chat.
Yeah, just email me the flat map.
Yeah. I want that. Good. Okay. Did you get it? Message received.
Right. Okay. Let me have a look at this flat map of yours. That's got accurate distances on. Be the first one ever, guys. This is exciting.
No, watch the video. You need to watch the video because it does explain to you about refueling points.
Well, you can't just send me a picture of the map.
Of the map.
Yeah. Which map is he using?
The equatorial.
The
The
equatorial.
Plateau's equatorial.
The azimuthal expedition.
Yeah, azimuthal, yeah. It's the only one that works.
Works. Oh my god, you're actually using the AE map.
Yeah.
Fuck me. Oh, Barry.
No. I know you want to lie. Now, when I sent you the one with the, you know the one that I sent you with the,
Here we go.
The emergency landings, right? You remember that one?
Yeah, and that was using the AE
emergency
map.
landing, the one
That
you
was
said
using-
that your mate's supposed to have debunked. Yeah.
That was using the AE map,
No,
was it?
That's the map. Because I don't bother. I haven't. I did have it in my computer, but I didn't bother
So,
to keep it.
do me a favour,
So
Barry.
repeat
Barry,
it.
do me a favour.
Yeah.
Look at Australia.
Yeah. Look at it.
Are you telling me that's accurate?
Well, it's definitely more accurate than the one you think you're using, because that's the one they're using.
So are you telling me that Australia is 3 times the size, maybe 5 times the size of Canada?
I'm saying the size of certain countries haven't been told to you. This is why they're appearing different sizes on your so-called
I mean,
globe.
you do know that cars have, like, you know, they register how many miles they've done, and like, so do planes, and
I understand this.
You know that these distances have been verified.
But here's the thing, right? You see, real life is down to the fact that these people stopped where they stopped in an emergency, and according to where they stopped, they would have been using a map such as this one to have made the stop city, wouldn't they?
Hey, anybody in the sorry, Craig.exe has stopped working. Anybody in the chat from Australia, just tell me if this is an accurate representation of your country. Oh God, yeah, you're right. Look at the size of Russia compared to other places. According to this, Great Britain is the same size as fucking Russia.
Yeah. It makes it a little bit hard to fake onto a globe, doesn't it?
It makes what?
Hey, it makes it hard to fake onto a globe, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't make it. This is a protection.
No.
Oh, Barry! Oh, bless your heart, Barry! Oh my goodness, Barry! Thank you. When you said there's an accurate map, I thought you were going to have some amazing new, brilliant map that no one's ever seen before, and then you present me the AE map.
You're not really saying. No. You take that, and then without the big life with it, you know, like I said, I keep saying, the emergency start, the emergency landings. Now, how can they time it that looks like that? And not
because they don't understand how emergency landings work.
No.
He used the AE map.
You can laugh.
Fucking brilliant.
You're trying to explain real life. In real life, this happened. So you're trying to tell me what happens in real life. You can laugh at and say that, well, that doesn't make it true. They didn't land where they landed now, you're trying to say.
Wolfie 6020 is explained.
They didn't go where they were going, and they didn't land where they were landing.
Wolfie 6020 is explained.
They didn't have to land where they landed in an emergency. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm saying that they did land there, and you don't understand it.
Even though it's documented.
Yeah, and you don't understand it. Just Wolfie 6020 explains it all.
I do understand it.
No, Barry, you don't understand it. Let's see how much you understand, Barry. Barry, let's see how much you understand. Do me a favor. If I've got a triangle of sides 1, 1, and 1, what would be the internal angles?
45.
What?
What depends on which triangle you mean. What are you talking about? Straight ahead?
Okay, maybe he is actually sleeping warrior.
Barry, listen to the question.
Equilateral what?
I've got a triangle of sides 1, 1, and 1. What are the internal angles?
1. No, 3. Sorry, 3.
What? Sorry. Right, so we've had 45, 45, 90. We've had 1, and we've had 3.
While it's inside a vacuum.
Yeah, gravity's the real reason for that.
Because that's the problem, mate. Real life.
Barry,
we're talking about
let's try that again. Let's try again. Sorry. Come on.
You're trying to distract from something. Why?
Come on, let's try this again, Barry.
You're trying to distract.
Right. Listen, right?
Look,
a triangle sides 1, 1, and 1.
Matter of fact, I've given you matter of fact
1, 1, and 1.
About something that's got nothing to do with the subject I asked you about.
Oh no, it really does. Barry,
no,
I need you to listen. You're trying to sham away
from the fact that I was right.
You haven't been right once on this stream, dude.
You're trying to shy away.
You've literally been wrong about everything since you started talking.
Right. You cannot get gas pressure unless it's inside a container, can you?
Yeah, the downward acceleration is a container.
You can't use gravity as a container.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
You say that, but I'd agree with you. Then
I
do
do
wrong,
say that because you can't prove it. That's why I say that.
Like I said, Barry,
I'd
agree with you.
Every baller that claims that he can is a dirty, stinking liar. Is a moron for thinking he could.
All the 5 experiments,
think he can use something that doesn't exist to hold gas onto a planet is not mentally sane.
Okay, so the scientific method, which you deny, completely
Definitely
agrees
not.
with you.
You can tell me that you can get a ball to float in, that is floating in space naturally and it's spinning around the sun. You're talking out your backside, mate.
Your ignorance of science and physics is not
of a ball while it's inside a vacuum.
The Cavendish
Don't you
experiment.
Show me the old gas. You can prove gravity bullshit.
The Cavendish experiment.
Show me doing it.
The Cavendish
Show
experiment.
Me doing it. Show me doing it then.
The Cavendish experiment. It shows that mass
It
attracts
doesn't
mass.
show you gas.
It shows
doesn't
mass
show you
attracts
gas
mass.
on the outside of a ball.
Does
It
gas
does
have
not show
mass?
you gas on the outside of a ball.
Does
though.
gas have mass? Yes or no?
Yes.
No.
What? Of course it has mass.
Say that again. Does gravity have
No.
does gas have mass? Yes or no?
No. No.
Oh, brilliant. Right, I think it's time for super chats. Let's see if there's any towards you, Barry.
Oh my god.
Gas doesn't have mass. Brilliant. Bev Llewellyn for $3.99 says buy the Fleur for Sand Timer. Yeah, Barry, you were late. Signa Step for $5 says how many times will Craig say did my speaking in the middle of the sentence interrupt the beginning of your sentence? Many as times as they interrupt me. Micro Raptor for 59 cents. My name isn't Micro Raptor. It is if I say it is. All right, Micro Raptor. Signa Step $2 says he does sound like Riley with a voice filter. Are you Sleeping Warrior?
Yes.
Barry, are you Sleeping Warrior?
No.
I mean, you got that triangle question wrong, so
I didn't
I'm
need
not
to
too
get the
sure.
triangle question right because at the end of the day, your
yeah,
question
cool.
was
Trying to
about
debunk
Earth,
all
and
of
you're talking
physics.
you're trying to
trying to
tell me
debunk
garbage.
all of physics
You keep
and doesn't know
distracted.
the internal
You keep
angles of
calling
an
it
equilateral
bullshit.
triangle.
Now, can
Minus
you
for-
or not?
minus
I mean,
for
you keep
$50
saying
Donkey
you
Kong
can.
dollars.
So can you prove to me that gas can stick to the outside of a ball or not?
Yeah, the Cavendish
Can you
experiment
show
shows
me?
that.
No, you can't. Is that a
Yeah.
no?
I just said the Cavendish
Yes or
experiment
no?
shows that.
That's a no. It's a no.
I just said yes.
Yes,
Cavendish
you said
experiment
yes,
shows
but
that.
it's a no. That means you can't show it.
I just said yes, the Cavendish experiment can show you that.
Show me gas on the outside of a ball inside a vacuum.
I can show you that's absolutely possible.
No, you can't.
I mean, no, doesn't work.
No.
Minus for $50 Donkey Kong dollars says FTFE. So
Then
according to
please
his,
do. Please do.
yeah, the Cavendish experiment. So according to his logic,
no,
the
please
lighter.
do. Show me. Show me gas on the outside of a ball inside a vacuum.
Cool.
Please.
Yeah, I did that already, right?
You haven't. You showed me the magnetism around plasma.
No, I literally
Controlling
showed you,
plasma.
the globe in
That's
space.
a process, mate. You know what a process is?
There you
have
go.
to do things to the gas first before
There
you
you
can
go.
control it with magnetism.
There you go. There's what you wanted. So minus for $50 Donkey Kong dollars says FTFE. So according to his logic, the
What
lighter
is
can't
that?
fall further down than the height of the factory that it was made. Fuck YouTube for $2 says this guy is a dingbat. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I don't believe CGI.
That's not CGI. That was made in 1972. The Snark from
right.
€5 says he does not understand that this thing is
So
only
that
centimeters
picture is
big.
not generated by a computer.
No, that was
No.
taken by a camera in 1972.
No, that picture was generated by a computer.
No, that was taken in 1972.
Yeah, of course it was. Yeah.
Have you never heard of the Blue Marble before?
Oh yeah, I've heard of the Blue Marble. Yeah.
Not the 2012 Rob Simmons one, the original
Oh, the
one.
2012. Well, there could have been several, aren't they? I mean, you've changed them so often.
Well, there's been two.
So-
There's been two
yeah.
that they've called the Blue Marble. This original one from 1972, taken with a Hasselblad
Yeah,
camera
right, yeah,
with an 80mm
yeah,
lens,
yeah.
and then there was the composite by Rob Simmons in 2012. But this is
No,
a
they're all-
actual physical camera,
all-
not CGI.
They're all composites. All of them are composites.
This isn't a composite. This is taken with a physical
Yeah,
camera.
that's a composite. That's a composite.
This was taken with a physical camera in one shot.
No, it wasn't.
No, it doesn't matter.
That's a that wasn't taken in one shot. That is a
Did you
camera.
say so?
That is a computer generated image. That is.
From 1972.
Yes.
You
don't think they
CGI
had that
there was in
technology back then?
1972. No, they absolutely fucking didn't.
You mean
Aslam
you-
for $2 Australian says,
you mean
can we ask
you
him for a
did?
map of his Afghanistan? Yeah,
You
he
mean
tried
you
using
did-
the
you mean
AIM,
the general
which is
public
clearly
did.
wrong.
That's what you're talking about.
No,
They had
nobody
internet
fucking
back
did,
then.
mate.
They had internet before. We're getting what they leftovers.
Fuck me.
This,
This
the
is
internet
incredible.
is a hand-me-down.
Someone better be aware, tell Tau City Alpha that he needs to record this one. Carrie Bonson for $5 says, to be fair, that may be someone behind him laughing, maybe the caretaker. No, I'm pretty sure he was laughing. Trust me, it's recorded because it's live on my channel. Truth Nerds for €5 says a 3-axis gyro like Bob's can also be used to determine the direction of the axis of rotation. How would that be faked? P.S. Thanks, Bob. Yeah, he doesn't understand what gyro compasses are either, which is hilarious.
Well, the original question was, can you show to me gas pressure on the outside of a ball that's inside a vacuum?
Yeah, I'm showing you it right now.
No.
I'm literally showing it to you right now.
No, you're showing me a picture. You ain't showing me nothing in real life. There must be an experiment proving that this is possible.
Yeah, there is. It's called the Cavendish experiment.
There is.
The Pound-Repka experiment. The Eddington experiment in 1919. The discovery of Neptune. The Schehelian experiment. There's 5. We can start with those. So, Faux Hammer, Aslan for 2 Australian says, did he just ask if there's a true north? Yes, he fucking did. Faux Hammer 335 for $2 says, non-magnetic is magnetic. Groundbreaking stuff. Yeah, I think you can go and pick up your Nobel Prize for that one. Well done.
Yes.
Non-magnetic.
You're still off the point. The original question was, you're claiming the Earth is a closed system, and you're claiming that matter can leave it, and I'm telling you you're lying.
Okay, cool. Once you show me your qualifications in physics to the,
I'm saying you can't have a closed system on a ball.
I mean, I'm showing it right now.
You can't have a closed system on a ball.
And whether Earth is a closed or open system does not really matter.
Yes, it matters.
It still exists.
You can't have an open system on a ball and survive.
I mean, it's right in front of you, the closed system, but you're denying that what I'm showing you is real.
A picture. You give me a picture.
Yeah, you realise that pictures are. You realise that pictures. Hold on.
It just shows me a
Barry,
picture.
You realise that pictures are admissible.
Barry, do the things you're claiming you can.
You do realise that pictures are admissible in courts of law all over the world as evidence.
This isn't. Depending on the picture that you're talking about, this isn't.
Well, a picture taken with an actual camera isn't.
This isn't. Isn't a picture taken with an actual camera, though, is it?
Come on, Larry. You're just being silly now.
Barry,
just going.
sorry. It's Barry.
Sorry, Larry. I do apologise.
Barry.
So, Mr. Nilsson for 45 Donkey Kong dollars says the moon is populated by tardigrades.
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
apparently
that's what you're claiming. You're claiming people are clinging to the bottom somehow.
But
like
there,
they were
whoops, from there,
balls or
whoopsie.
something. Stupid.
Goodness
It's ridiculous. You're telling me that thing's spinning around and floating around in space.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mr. Nilsson for 45 Donkey Kong dollars says Earth has a flat. Earth has a flat curve.
That's
it looks curved. Barry, it looks curved unless it looks flat. No curve, but curve. My head hurts. I know.
Yeah.
Barry, you're incredible. Faux Hammer 335 for $5 says if he uses perspective again, you can use my AKM magazine demonstration if you want. Yeah, he didn't really talk about perspective much, but
did any one of them depict the curve that you was talking about? That I mentioned. Did they depict it? Did they show you how it was curved?
I showed you the curve. Mr. Nielsen for 45 Donkey Kong dollars says, didn't this guy star in a JM movie as one of the zombies? No, because if there was a zombie apocalypse, this guy would be safe because he has no brain. J.L. Warren for $1.99 says, God, sniff, sniff. Yes, J.L. Warren, I will set up a debate between you and Barry here. Good luck with that one. Johnny Marr for £5 says, love it when you take off your glasses and rub your eyes to cope when you hear so much stupidity. If I upgrade patron, do I pay twice? No, if you upgrade, you just go up to the next level. And if you're a patron, thank you very much. Yeah. Aslan for $2 Australian says, does he want a pilot to come on and slap him? Yeah, we can get many pilots to come on and tell you you're wrong. Do you know, just out of interest, what the Havershine formula is?
Me?
Yeah.
What? Sorry, is that to me? The Havershine formula?
Yeah.
No, I don't need to.
No, you don't, but pilots do.
Why?
To be able to calculate, because the Earth's a globe.
It's a globe, is it? So they fly over a globe?
Absolutely. That's what the Havershine formula is for, so that they can calculate where they're going.
All right, so they don't fly over a flat, non-rotating surface?
No, they don't.
All right. Because their aeroplanes were designed to do that.
Yeah, could you tell me which aeroplanes are fixed-wing, rigid-bodied?
Fixed-wing aeroplane you're on about now?
No, I want to know which.
So we're not on about.
I want to know which. I want to know which aeroplanes are fixed-wing, rigid-bodied.
How it claimed to be. You
just
the subject again.
No. You just changed to that paper about
when I asked you how you could
Barry,
on the outside,
I'm answering your question. Can you shut up so I can answer your question?
And
you are the one, Barry.
I'm sticking to what I
you just brought up the flat non-rotating Earth thing that the plane apparently flies over, right? Now that paper from NASA. That paper from NASA also says it's talking about a fixed-wing, rigid-bodied aircraft. Could you please
Yes.
point me to
And he
a
was also talking
rigid-bodied
about rockets,
aircraft?
if you watch the rest of it.
Could you please point me to a rigid body? Could you please point me to a rigid body? Barry, I'm asking you a question. Listen. Could you please point me to a rigid body aircraft?
What are you talking about?
That you don't understand what the paper is.
I do understand what the paper is. The paper
Really?
states that
It's a model. It's a modeling thing.
non-rotating flat Earth. Now, why would it state that?
Why does it state?
Why would they state
Why does it state?
that?
Why does it state that it's a rigid body aircraft when no such thing exists? Why would they state it's a rigid body aircraft if no? Listen to me. Why would they state it's a rigid body aircraft if no such thing exists?
What do you mean if no such thing exists? Because
No
they were using them. They were using them to design the rockets and everything.
There's no such thing as a rigid body.
The long-range rockets.
Okay. No such thing as a rigid body. All right. Flattened destruction for
all the
$5
bodies were rigid.
says Barry has failed. Barry, I would seriously give you $1,000 to beat me in a debate.
We're talking
that's
about
easy
the
money.
atmosphere. You're trying
Mr.
to
Nielsen
you're
for
trying to
45
distract.
Donkey Kong dollars says denial on top of denial covered in a thick slimy mess of nutter. Better charge for 5 New Zealand dollars says what's up fuckers, let's go baby. Flattened destruction for $2 says Riley, they didn't have computer imaging in 1972. It's not Riley. I really don't think it is.
Right.
General E.
At the end
Shady
of the
for $2 Australian says
Are you
Mage
claiming that
showed
the
atmospheric
photograph
pressure to
proves
drop.
that gas can stick to the outside?
There's a picture of it happening, so
Are
yeah.
you claiming that that photograph proves that gas
Almost
can
adopt-
stick to the outside of a ball in a vacuum?
It's
Is that what
literally
you're
showing
claiming?
it. It's literally showing it. So almost a
It's
doctor
not
for
showing
$2.
it. You're showing me a photograph of a round thing. You're not showing me nothing
Yeah,
that's
it's-
real.
If you could say that, but you'd be wrong. Almost a doctor for
I
$2.
didn't- you're-
Barry,
I'm
I'm
not
trying to
wrong.
read my
I'm
super
right.
chats. Will you shush?
Prove it by
Almost a
doing it
doctor.
in real life.
There you go, it's real
by
life.
doing it in real life.
That's real life. Almost a doctor for $2 Australian dollars says thermodynamics proves exactly what we see. Physics, absolutely. Simon Spencer for £2 says you can't argue with stupidness. You can. It's just fun.
You're right.
And that's why I
Because
breed
you
these
are
stupid people around.
You're claiming the gas can reside. The gas and pressure. Can
I'm
reside
literally
next to a
showing you
vacuum
a picture
without
of it
having any
happening.
barrier on a ball. That's garbage.
Literally showing you it happening.
No, you can't. That's not happening. That was taken in 1972. Anybody could have done that.
Anybody could have gone to space and taken out in 1972. Cool story,
No,
bro.
they didn't go into space.
Aslan for $2 Australian says, can we please find the flat Earth pilot?
They didn't have to go into space.
Barry, I'm talking. Aslan for $2 Australian says, can we please find the flat Earth pilot? Oh, wait. And then Flat and Destruction for $2 says, FTFE, you're doing awesome, quick, concise
They're
cut
all
downs. Thank you.
Earth pilots. Where do you think you're living?
I mean,
You're
pilots
not
would
on a
disagree.
ball.
Better charge for 5 New
You're
Zealand
not on
dollars
a
says, their fight to request to stay at the NASA moon base has been rejected due to Simon Dan trashed it with his last fight. That is fucking top secret. Will you not?
Question.
I'm showing you. Yeah, the answer's there.
Are you claiming that that
And John
photograph that you
Watson,
just put up now
I'm
is proof
talking.
that gas can be at pressure on the outside of
Yeah.
a wall inside
I'm
a vacuum?
literally showing you a picture of it.
Right.
John
So
Watson
you've
for
got
5.
that's- you've
Barry,
got the
will you
blue-
shush
you've
when
got
I
the blue
finish
marble
this?
Photograph,
Barry,
and
will you
you've got
shush when
the
I finish?
garbage.
Barry, will you shush when I finish what I'm saying? Thank you. John Watson for £5 says, does Barry greet other flirts by sniffing their bum? Absolutely. Barry, I just want to say congratulations for your big fail. That was an incredible display of ignorance
You're the
for
one who
anything
failed. Your
in
question
physics.
was, can you
So
prove gas on the
good
outside
job.
of a ball?
See you later. Wow. Nuh-uh. It was his entire thing there. Right. Need to get ready for the next string. We're going to go over and have a chat with Big Pig Slapper Oink. We've been talking backwards and forwards, and he has been a lot more receptive to conversation than last time, so hopefully this should be a good one. Hope you enjoyed that dumpster fire with Barry the Ignoramus. Remember, stupidity is not a right. I'll see you in a few minutes. Fight the flat earth. I didn't have my outro ready. There we go.
Fight the flat. 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 Fight the flat.
I can see all the fails in the chat.
Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat.
Surprise! It is I, BKC, here once again to dispense more propaganda about another stall Pokemon and how much better it was than offensive Pokemon. Fun fact, False Swipe Gaming is named as such because we don't actually believe in KOing opposing Pokemon with attacking moves, we only believe in stalling them out. Also, if you're interested in more Blissey shenanigans after this video, then you can head over to my channel and check out the video I did about Blissey's place in the current Gen 4 OU metagame. Anyway, last time I was here to preach about Skarmory, and today
The current Gen 4. Oh my god. Fuck you, dude.
We all know them from the anime where they assisted Nurse Joy and were incredibly kind, unless of course Team Rocket were doing Team Rocket things and Meowth was in need of a double slap. Today we're going to examine how these two eggheads performed in the competitive scene. So, how great were Chansey and Blissey actually? And in this video we'll be going over these competitive formats. Chansey was one of the best Pokemon in the first generation of OU. In fact, it was so good that it was considered to be among the Big Four, a group of Pokemon that most players believed were so good that it didn't matter if you knew they were coming. They would be amazing regardless, and should thus be used on every serious RBY team, with the other three being Tauros, Snorlax, and Exeggutor. Chansey's reason for being essential was its unmatched walling and support capabilities.
Forgot about
its impact could be felt in how much it influenced every single battle it was in. It was one of the most valuable Pokemon and a consistent performer on both sides of a battle no matter what the matchup was. To paint an idea of how crucial Chansey was, special attackers went from a non-factor to dominant when it was removed from the game. Between its mammoth special bulk, instant recovery and soft-boiled, and no exploitable weaknesses thanks to fighting types not being good in RBY, removing Chansey was incredibly difficult. Some teams tried freezing it, often with their own Chansey, since freeze was essentially a KO. However, this was not the most reliable strategy for a number of reasons. First, the low freeze chance coupled with Ice Beam's exploitable 16 PP, to say nothing of Blizzard's 8 PP and 90% accuracy. Second, there was also Freeze Claws, which meant that something else getting frozen would mean Chansey was safe. And finally, the fact that several players deliberately switched their Chansey into Thunder Wave just to protect it from being frozen. Taking Paralysis was of course not ideal, but this illustrates how valuable Chansey was, as well as how difficult it was to take down, that attempting to freeze it was a legitimate strategy. That wasn't the only way, of course. Some players didn't like leaving things up to chance, and elected to try and remove Chansey by force. Given Chansey's bulk that survived even a super effective Machamp submission, the only way to do this was with Explosion, which of course came with the drawback of K-ing one's own Pokemon and could thus backfire if the target Chansey didn't stay in. Luckily, two of the other Big Four Pokemon, Exeggutor and Snorlax, learned Explosion and often faced off against Chansey, allowing them to reliably pull it off. Technically, Snorlax got self-destruct, but it also had Stab on it, so it was effectively stronger than any Explosion. Anyway, losing Exeggutor or Snorlax was not ideal considering how good they were, and the fact that players were willing to do so spoke to just how important getting rid of Chansey was. You might be wondering, what business did Chansey have staying in on Snorlax? Chansey facing off with Exeggutor makes sense, since a paralyzed Chansey blocked Sleep Powder effectively, but wouldn't the mighty physical attacker Snorlax have easily felled the famously physical frail Chansey? Well, yes and no. Yes, Snorlax threatened Chansey. However, certain Chansey variants could not only stave Snorlax off, but actually switch into it. Historically, Chansey's standard was the Thunder Wave, Soft-Boiled, Thunderbolt, and Ice Beam set, which of course faltered against Snorlax one-on-one. However, in the wake of the mechanics discovery which revealed that normal types cannot be paralyzed by Body Slam in Gen 1, a new Chansey set arose, the Reflect variant, with Seismic Toss as its source of damage, threatening paralyzed Alakazam that would normally sit on the Bolt Beam combination. With this set, an unparalyzed Chansey could switch in on and stave off Snorlax, not even fearing crits thanks to Snorlax's abysmal critical hit rate, which was invaluable given how Lax threatened the entire rest of the metagame. It wasn't an ironclad answer, it was more used to force the Snorlax to rest, from which point one of Chansey's teammates could force it out, and at this it was quite reliable. This set and accompanying strategy became the metagame's new standard. Of course, Bolt Beam sets remained excellent, especially with all the Reflect Chanseys they could threaten with Freeze, since those sets usually could not afford to take Paralysis if they wanted to repeatedly switch into Rest Snorlax. However, Reflect dominated, especially because it stifled one of the few ways Chansey could usually be taken out, exploding on it. It also allowed it to beat Tauros one-on-one and made it a lot more difficult for Zapdos to break through. So, how else did people deal with Chansey? The least fun way. PP stalling, which is about as thrilling as it sounds. Eventually, some more offensive options were explored, breaking the mold and making Chansey a more dynamic, actively dangerous Pokemon as opposed to a passive stall machine. Ice Beam experienced a resurgence as its freeze potential could break up Stall Wars. It was a reliable sleeper with Sing, even seeing some use as a lead to counter the popular Alakazam and Starmie leads. The many free turns Chansey had allowed it to use the move repeatedly, thus bypassing its dismal accuracy. Once it hit, it was good to go, as RBY Sleep could last up to 6 turns, making it an effective offensive weapon. Finally, Counter would turn the tables on a body slam spamming Snorlax. Some players even used all 3 of these moves on the same set. It was referred to as Triple KO Chansey, as all 3 of its non-soft moves could take out something on the opposing team. Sing would sleep something, Counter would KO a Snorlax or Tauros, and Ice Beam freezes were also effectively a KO. It just about always got at least one of those, usually Sing, but it was not at all rare for it to pull off 2 or even all 3 in the same game. Now, it is usually difficult or even impossible to trace the origin of a certain set back to a specific player who created it, which is why we usually don't reference them. However, in the case of Triple KO Chansey, we know that it originated directly from Nails, one of the best modern RBY players. You might also know him as Nick Navarre, VGC Superstar. Anyway, of course, Chansey could mix and match its sets to its liking. It could run Ice Beam on the Reflect set to be more dangerous, its Bolt Beam set could trade Thunderbolt for a Seismic Toss to better pressure Alakazam, and so on. For this and all the other reasons we've gone over, Chansey was a top 3, or arguably 2, or possibly even 1 Pokemon in RBY-OU. We also must mention that Chansey was one of the best Pokemon in RBY Ubers, as it was one of the few Pokemon that could effectively stand in the way of the most dangerous Pokemon of all time, Amnesia Mewtwo. With Light Screen, it could stand up to even stab Psychic coming from 999 special, either threatening an Ice Beam freeze or slowing it down with paralysis and PP stalling it. Of course, Mewtwo could threaten it because it was Mewtwo, but as far as Mewtwo answers went, Chansey was the best. It was even better than Mewtwo itself. Chansey evolved into Blissey in Generation 2, who took over its place in OU, and you'd think an improved Chansey would be more top tier than ever, with new access to leftovers for passive healing, Heal Bell curing its and its teammates' status, even
curse.
higher HP, slightly higher defense, and even
What
higher
the fuck?
special defense. Emphasis on the
What
special
the
defense,
fuck is this?
Gen 2 is where the special stat split into, and Blissey received
I've
a
never
special
seen this
attack
happening
stat, which is
before.
probably a good thing, because the idea of Blissey with actual special attacking power is terrifying given its great coverage moves. This low special attack was actually
And I'm not
used by
joking, I
Blissey
have
too
never
widely
seen that
used in
before.
GSC. Now, that may seem strange because GSC has the reputation
And you have to know, like, if I combine all of my characters together, I probably have like, I don't know,
that does not mean teams with 6
or
slow walls unable to do
what?
any damage themselves. They would never actually KO the opposing team if that were the case. For this reason, Raikou was preferred as a special wall on stall teams.
Probably have like 500 days played
was
with
the
all my
preferred
characters
physical
combined, and
special
I've
wall
never
duo.
seen
Why
this
use Blissey,
before.
a slow special wall incapable of hurting the opponent, when you could use Raikou, who was a fast special wall that was simultaneously one of the tier's most dangerous offensive threats. Instead of instantly being threatened by Machamp like Blissey was, Raikou actually threatened Machamp. It was also backed up by the best Pokemon around, Snorlax, who was also famously difficult to break on the special side, and it wasn't fast, but it was also the generation's most dangerous threat. Now, let us be clear, Blissey was a very good Pokemon in GSC. However, most new players think that such a stally Pokemon must have completely dominated a generation where stall is so prominent, and we wanted to demonstrate that being able to actually damage the opponent is important, which is why Raikou is extremely common and Blissey is not used as much. This is not because Blissey was a bad Pokemon at all. Again, quite the opposite. The reason it wasn't used as much was that it was incredibly specific, being relegated to certain kinds of stall teams, as opposed to Raikou, who was splashable on just about every team. That said, when used correctly, Blissey was excellent, with several significant advantages over Raikou. It packed astonishing special bulk that took even less from Zapdos's Thunder, despite not resisting the move. This meant it did not have to manually heal often. Instead, it could focus on supporting its team. When it did have to heal, it did not have to rely on rest like Raikou did. It had the instant recovery of soft-boiled. In terms of support, this is where it really outshone Raikou. First off, it had Light Screen. Now, that might seem counterintuitive. Why do you need to weaken special attacks when you have the best special wall in the game? Well, the light screen was not for Blissey itself, it was for its teammates. Now, keep in mind some of the tenets of GSC we have established so far. Blissey fit on stall teams. Stall teams need to dish out damage. Blissey did not dish out damage. Therefore, Blissey needed teammates that dished out heavy damage. These teammates came in the form of Bellydrum Snorlax and Swords Dance Marowak. Those Pokemon did not have as much defensive utility, since Whack required Thick Club and was unable to hold leftovers as a result, while Snorlax's defensive utility was limited by Bellydrum halving its HP, and it needed Bellydrum to actually be threatening. This is where Blissey came in. Its light screen made it easy for Lax and Whack to shrug off hits from the legendary Electrics, allowing them to blast past them in return. It was a perfect match. Whack and Drumlax needed sturdy walls backing them up to make up for their lack of defensive use, and there was nothing sturdier than Blissey. Conversely, Blissey needed teammates that dished out tons of damage, and there were no better than those two. Its support for them didn't end there though. It had another incredible support move that Raikou didn't, Heal Bell. Snorlax and Marowak would inevitably have to rest off damage they took while blasting through the opponent, and then they were going to be useless for 2 turns if they wanted to wake up, allowing the opponent to do as they pleased, except not, because Blissey would wake them up with Heal Bell and they'd be ready to smash through the opponent again. Heal Bell support was also excellent for waking up Skarmory, meaning it would not be susceptible to being forced to rest and then getting run over by opposing Snorlax. Some players experimented with Toxic Stall Blissey as well, focusing less on setting up hard-hitting teammates and instead spreading passive damage to make up for its low special attack stat. This was solid as well. However, Blissey's main claim to fame was its critical light screen support. Overall, its niche in GSC was specific, but if used skillfully, there was little more devastating than a Bellydrum Snorlax or a Swords Dance Marowak protected from the metagame's many special attacks by Blissey's light screen, which it set up reliably and consistently throughout the course of a battle. Blissey also functioned quite decently on stall teams and Ubers, compressing the special walling of Raikou and the Heal Bell support of Celebi in one team slot alongside its trademark light screen to support Bellydrum Snorlax. It was an effective check to most Mewtwo, who no longer ran Amnesia but were still threatening. Even if Mewtwo used self-destruct on Blissey, then it wouldn't be blowing up on Blissey's teammates Snorlax or Mewtwo, so it was a good trade. GSC Ubers is also where the Blissey Lugia core was first seen. Blissey eternally walled the Zapdos that thwarted a cursed Lugia sweep, while Lugia was the best counter in the game to opposing Snorlax that switched in on Blissey. With Blissey outclassing it entirely, Chansey dropped to UU. The special split meant, like Blissey, it was unable to damage much of anything, and its walling capabilities weren't anything that Pokemon like Hypno and Slowking couldn't do thanks to Sleep Talk alongside Rest, while they could also damage the opponent. However, Chansey did have a very dangerous role in UU, a physical sweeper. Yes, you heard that right. Cursed Chansey was potentially one of the most difficult Pokemon to stop in the entire tier, with Soft Will for instant recovery, Heal Bell to thwart status while also supporting its team, and good mono attacking coverage and stab double edge. After a curse, it was no longer threatened by physical attacks, and while it did take several boosts to get to the point where its double edges were actually threatening to KO the opposition, there was very little an opponent could do to actually prevent it from getting 6 curses. Pokemon is a very strange game sometimes, and the fact that Chansey was one of
I understand why it's doing that. It's because there is no human demon hunters. That class combination does not exist.
There was much more passive damage flying around in the form of
I mean, Druid humans also don't exist, but they probably fixed that a long time ago already. Like, they fixed that before the game was even released, or the thing, this dungeon was even released. But they haven't done that yet for demon hunters, apparently. Or at least that's what I think is happening.
Known for, well, being Blissey. It was the backbone of every stall team, but it was no longer restricted to those. It worked well on offensive teams with spikes as well, providing the backbone they needed to fall back on against dangerous special attackers like Zapdos and Starmie. Blissey remained top tier despite the best efforts of the very many anti-Blissey techniques, such as Explosion, Dugtrio, and or Calm Minesweepers with Substitute or Recovery, in part because Blissey was more than just a wall. Yes, it was one, and incredible at that, but at the same time it was difficult to switch into, and it was famous for its longevity since in addition to that all-important instant recovery, it now had Natural Cure, which was an absolutely perfect ability utility for it, as it meant Toxic was little more than a temporary inconvenience. Oh sure, it wasn't impossible to get Blissey to switch out. It was threatened by physical attackers like Tyranitar, Metagross, Snorlax, and Heracross, but none of those Pokemon particularly enjoyed switching into a Seismic Toss with a Spike Up. They got worn down over the course of a game while Blissey simply stayed healthy and outlasted them. Blissey was actually quite fond of Dugtrio because it was a great partner for it, as Doug forcibly removed these Pokemon, as well as Calm Minders like Bulky, Celebi, and Jirachi that might potentially beat Bliss. In general, Blissey loved having a fast teammate even on more defensive teams, as it would effectively stave off the opposing team long enough that by the end of the game they would have been worn down into range for that fast teammate, such as Aerodactyl and Gengar, to clean up. Blissey was effectively a wall that doubled as an offensive Pokemon just because of how many free turns it had to wear down the opponent. It even went all out offensive with Calm Mind for a period of time, outright sweeping unprepared teams, although that trend faded as it meant Blissey lost hard to Roar Suicune. That wasn't a problem though, as the standard Seismic Toss set was more flexible and better overall, as it still provided consistent offensive pressure without the moveset constraints Calm Mind variants had. In addition to being an offensive threat, Blissey also supported its teammates beautifully beyond just absorbing special attacks and status. There was nothing like using Wish, switching to Skarmory, and watching the damage done by Metagross's Choice Band Meteor Mash simply disappear. It was also able to spread Thunder Wave for slower teammates like Choice Band Tyranitar, provide Cleric support with Heal Bell, and really just do anything it wanted, such as surprising a body slamming Snorlax with Counter. As if all that wasn't enough, Blissey was actually a problem for most physical offense teams as well. It was an excellent counter to Dragon Dance Salamence, the most common endgame sweeper. It also staved off Gyarados if packing Thunderbolt, walled Magneton and most Swampert variants, and chipped away at Metagross and Snorlax with Seismic Toss alongside Spikes. Blissey was useful at the very least in every matchup, and often dominated, even when teams went out of their way to account for it, and often even against teams that shouldn't seem like they struggled with it. Running physical offense and losing to Blissey sounds funny, but it was a regular occurrence. Blissey was without question a top 5 Pokemon in Advanced OU, and many top players ranked it even higher. Gen 3 Ubers unleashed immensely powerful special attackers into Lottie Twins and Kyogre, and Blissey stood in their way. It would deal with the Lotties by toxicking them and then using Snatch to deny their refresh attempts. Snatch also stole Kyogre's Calm Minds and made Blissey more difficult to break through for it. Blissey had to be paired with especially defensive teammates, since Mewtwo was more dangerous than ever. It could run several dangerous Calm Mind sets that would beat Blissey, such as Substitute or Taunt, or simply blow up on it to clear the way for a teammate. However, it was well worth the effort, as Blissey was unlike any other Pokemon. No other Pokemon could have held teams together against the terrifying special attacking onslaught of ADV Ubers like Blissey did. The Blissey Lugia Core was a particularly formidable one once again, with excellent walling prowess for the combination of Kyogre and Groudon in particular, as well as other threats like Rayquaza and Ho-Oh. Chansey was far too oppressive for UU in Gen 3. Unlike Gen 2, there was no Sleep Talk calling rest, and thus its ridiculous bulk and instant healing meant its walling prowess could not be replicated by anything else. The lower amount of Sleep Talk also meant a lower amount of rest, which meant more Pokemon vulnerable to Toxic, and you get the idea. Chansey would just make stall teams unbreakable between its walling and support capabilities. Thus, it was banned to BL. The only time you see a Chansey in Gen 3 is on gimmicky OU stall teams that would use it alongside Blissey for maximum walling prowess. As far as gimmicks go, it was one of the better ones since it was on a reliable team style, that being Spike's defense, and was basically a replica of one of the best Pokemon in the game, just minus using special attacks. It wasn't a true part of the metagame, but it had its very small place. Gen 4's immense power creep had many players doubting whether Blissey could keep up as a wall. Close combat was an obvious nemesis, as were all the Life Orb boosted attacks flying around, but even new special fighting moves like Gengar's Focus Blast and Lucario's Stab Aura Sphere could put the pressure on Blissey. The addition of a special-based Swords Dance in the form of Nasty Plot seemed terrifying too, as it resulted in the first special attack that could OHKO Blissey after one turn of setup. After a plot boost, Porygon Z's Life Orb Adaptability Hyper Beam would in fact KO 252 HP Blissey. However, the initial wave of hype died down and Blissey proved it was not going anywhere, standing in the way of new threats like Yanmega, Empoleon, and Heatran, as well as returning threats like Zapdos, Starmie, and Gengar. The Skarm-Blizz duo returned with a vengeance and was even more effective since there was now even more passive damage to pressure the opponent with in the form of the all-encompassing Stealth Rock, which Blissey learned and made excellent use of given its absurd amount of free turns with all the what Pokemon it walled. Speaking of passive damage, there was a third entry hazard now, Toxic Spikes, making it even harder to deal with Blissey when Pokemon like Tyranitar and Infernape were crippled. Many teams attempted to use Toxic Spikes to deal with Blissey themselves, but if Blissey was paired with a Toxic Spikes user that was also a poison type, i.e. Nidoqueen, Tentacruel, or Roserade instead of Forretress, then those T-Spikes would be absorbed and Blissey would stand unwaveringly against the special attackers, hopeful they'd be able to break past it for once. Scar, Bliss, and friends thrived even in the face of anti-stall tactics like Mixed Infernape, famed for its ability to instantly cut through Scar and Bliss with its stabs. They would have to add a specific Infernape counter like Cresselia or Tentacruel, the former forming the Scar and Bliss Crest Core that many players hated, but it was worth it to make Scar and Bliss work, as they just covered so much and got up hazards with such ease, fitting on both hard stall and more fast-paced teams alike. The latter style especially saw an increase once Platinum came out, and with it came the Rotom appliances, eating up rapid spins and close combats alike while dishing out Will-O-Wisps to further cripple the opposition. Platinum also jacked up the power level even further with Outrage Salamence and Bullet Punch Scizor, but Blissey and its teams didn't slow down one bit. Latias was released into OU soon after Sans Soldew, and threatened much of the tier, except for Blissey, who added it to its already long list of Pokemon it completely stuffed. The Rotom appliances and Latias began using Trick in an attempt to cripple Blissey with a choice item, but Blissey would not be deterred. It simply paired up with Choice Scarf Tyranitar, who would absorb the Trick and pursue the Tricksters to death, leaving Blissey free to wall other threats like the newly popular offensive Suicune. Scarftar's Sandstorm also added to the hazards and status Blissey's team relied on, making them even more powerful. Some players used Male Blissey to block Trick. This was more of a silly gimmick that was never used too seriously, but it was pretty funny. Anyway, Platinum also resulted in the rise of Rest
But there is no Male Blissey.
Monster who ate Lucario and Infernape close combats for breakfast.
What the fuck? There is no Male Blissey. What is he talking about? Male Blisseys do not exist, but they are hacked. Right? Wait, now I'm confused. Do male Blisseys exist? Wait, no, they do exist. It's what is it called? Jinx. Jinx does not exist. There's no male Jinx. I've never seen what happens if his shield goes down. Shit.
grateful for your aid, champions. Now, Gul'dan's horde will sweep across this world like a locust.
I can't use that item yet.
And made stall teams even more difficult to break through. Hazard-oriented teams with Blissey
Yeah, it is 100% female. I knew it. Also, Miltank is also only female. And Tauros is always male. I wasn't wrong.
Sandstorm
Yeah. It's the stalliest video. Over an hour long.
also added to the hazards and status Blissey's team relied on, making them even more powerful. Some players used male Blissey to block used male Sandstorm also added to the hazards and status Blissey's team relied on, making them even more powerful. Some players
I just realized that he's not a Gen 1er.
Players used male Blissey to block Trick. This was more of a silly gimmick that was never used too seriously, but it was pretty funny. Anyway, Platinum also resulted in the rise of Restog Gyarados, a physically defensive monster who ate Lucario and Infernape close combats for breakfast and made stall teams even more difficult to break through. Hazard-oriented teams with Blissey, whether defensive or offensive, were all the rage throughout Platinum and continued well into Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Then Latias was banned. It wasn't the biggest threat to these teams in and of itself, but it could potentially be annoying, and one less threat was generally nice for defensive playstyles. The big change was that Salamence was banned shortly thereafter. This was a huge boon to Blissey and its teams, as nothing else in OU could truly replicate the pressure Salamence exerted. And as a result, Blissey and its teams just got better and better. Blissey's supporting cast was always undergoing little shifts. For example, it was often paired with Starmie, so Heatran would explode on it instead of on Blissey. Gliscor popped up in popularity as a sturdy Lucario counter that wasn't Stealth Rock weak. Lots of players liked using Focus Sash lead Roserade as a source of fast, early toxic spikes, so Blissey would immediately become even more difficult to deal with. But overall, Blissey was the engine that fueled the success of these teams, standing in the way of offensive Calm Mind Jirachis and Rain Dance Kingdras everywhere. Then, slowly but surely, it happened. The rise of Clefable. Clef couldn't hold a candle to Blissey's special walling prowess, but Magic Guard meant it bypassed the passive damage that could annoy Blissey. Stealth Rock, Sandstorm, Leech Seed, Toxic Spikes, none of it would do even 1 HP to Clef. Its special bulk was also good enough to handle many of the tier's special attackers, and partners such as Scarftar and Bulky Jirachi could help against threats like Gengar, so it became used over Blissey more and more over time until suddenly Clefable was the standard. Blissey was overly reliant on soft boiled at times to deal with the metagame's plethora of passive damage, whereas Clefable didn't have to do this and was thus a lot more active in dismantling the opposing team, especially with its access to knockoff. Blissey tended to require some form of anti-hazard support if it didn't constantly want to be soft boiling for its life, whereas Clefable didn't, and the metagame and team building shifted towards an environment that Blissey found it hard to keep up in. Now, Blissey was down, but not out. As good as Clefable was, it could not hope to handle powerful choice specs users like Heatran, Kingdra, and Zapdos, as well as the incredibly dangerous Sub-Pitaya and Polion, whereas Blissey shrugged them off without a second thought. There were 2 ways Bliss adapted for this new post-Clef environment. The first way was joining up with Clefable, forming a double pink blob core that used both blobs as strengths and was thus effective in many situations. In longer games with lots of passive damage that Blissey would get overwhelmed by without threatening in return, it wasn't a problem because Clefable would take over in those matchups, especially since Blissey providing Stealth Rock freed it to run a calm mindset. Against teams with hard-hitting special attackers that would bowl Clefable over, Blissey would effortlessly stand in their way. The second way Bliss adapted was joining the ranks of offense teams. They absolutely loved being able to fall back on it against the special attackers they'd normally have to do a merry dance around, as well as its reliable Stealth Rock and ability to spread paralysis with Thunder Wave, making slow wall-breaking teammates like Choice Band Dragonite far more dangerous against faster teams. These wall breakers would also mow down the stall teams that Blissey faltered against. Both Blissey Clefable stall and Blissey offense saw significant tournament success and proved that Blissey was still an absolutely excellent Pokemon, even with Clef around. As bizarre as it may seem, the adjective that came to describe Blissey was underrated, simply because it was largely forgotten in the wake of Clefable. When it did appear, it showed that it was not to be slept on. It had dominated DPPOU for the majority of its existence for a reason. Blissey was a crucial Pokemon in Ubers once again. Now, it could no longer be considered a Kyogre counter, seeing as even with a calm nature, Choice Specs Water Spout would 2-hit KO it, and it thus had to be backed up by Latias, Palkia, Ludicolo, or Quagsire. However, beyond that, Blissey was excellent. It absorbed even boosted Draco Meteors from Latios, Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina Origin with ease, while also handling the terrifying Scarf Kyogre, making it excellent against many of the most dangerous offensive combinations. It had to watch out for Nasty Plot Darkrai and several Mewtwo variants, but their reliance on Life Orb meant Blissey and its team could likely play around them. Blissey's old partner Lugia returned to thwart physical threats Groudon and Rayquaza once again, as well as newcomer Garchomp. the Blissey-Lugia core remained an integral part of Uber's stall. Once again, Blissey crucially prevented its teams from crumpling to the immense strength of Uber's offense. Chansey wound up in UU, and this time around it was one of the best Pokemon in the tier. It was an essential stall staple for its ability to completely shut down some of the tier's most terrifying special attackers such as Moltres, Houndoom, Alakazam, offensive Milotic, and special variants of Venusaur and Ludicolo. For the long time that Raikou was in UU, Chansey was unquestionably the best counter to it. Raikou was such a threat that Chansey chose to run Shed Shell over Leftovers just to escape the inevitable Dugtrio that Raikou would be paired with. Even without its passive recovery, Chansey was still excellent. It shaped so much of the metagame's viability. Pokemon like Specs Glaceon were good on the occasion they didn't face Chansey, but Chansey's prominence held them back like nothing else. Half the reason Blaziken was such a fearsome wall breaker was that it could unleash its Stab Fire Blast without being walled by Chansey. In addition to walling an absolute ton of threats, Chansey provided crucial support for its team, whether as an ever-reliable stealth rocker or as a wish passer that kept its teammates healthy and resilient in the face of opposing attacks. Chansey was so good that it remained top tier for even the brief spell that was Heracross's drop to UU. Overall, Chansey was one of the best Pokemon in the 4th generation of Underused. Chansey and Blissey may not seem well suited to the VGC metagame, where the overwhelming offensive pressure afforded by being able to double target makes it harder for them to sponge attacks. That said, the unparalleled special bulk they bring to the table is so far off the charts that it can sometimes break the usual mandates of VGC, and teams featuring both of them have had rare appearances throughout the years, even in VGC's early days. Blissey's unique status as reigning queen of pink blobs made it an appealing choice in the 2010 VGC season, where the metagame was centralized around overwhelming special attackers such as Kyogre, Palkia, Ludicolo, and the like. Blissey saw a surge in usage at US Nationals.
Ludicolo?
Players such as Jesus
Special
Minahaza,
attacker?
Omari,
What?
Bad Intent, Travis, and Len Alaka duel. Blissey was an extremely solid answer to the dominant team of Top Ogre, which consisted of Hitmontop, Kyogre, Palkia, and Abomasnow. Keep in mind that in 2010, there was no team preview and most events were best of 1. As such, most players brought the same 4 Pokemon to every match unless they had a read on the opponent's squad. This made Blissey especially scary to face. Top Ogre's only real way to handle Blissey was Hitmontop's Technician-boosted Mach Punch. Most Blisseys ran Choppleberry for just this reason, and if your Hitmontop went down and the blob was in the back, you could pretty much chalk that up to an auto loss. Honestly, considering just how long it took for Blissey's HP bar to go down in the Gen 4 games, you were probably saving an extra year of your lifespan if you just forfeited at that point. The most important thing to remember here is that 2010 had no match timer. The only form of timer was an overall 45-minute timer on the entire battle or set. Matches themselves could take as long as possible. That's going to be important later, so remember it. The Blisseys of 2010 were quite similar to their singles counterparts. Toxic and Soft Boiled were absolutely mandatory to let Blissey have some offensive pressure and keep its healthy, as was the standard VGC option of Protect. For its final slot, Blissey had a few options. Seismic Toss could let it spread a little more damage, while Icy Wind was a good choice if the rest of your team benefited from speed control. In a really clutch situation, Counter could turn the tide of battle in your favor against a physical attacker. Bad Intent ended up placing top 8 at Nationals, and Alaka made it all the way to the finals by winning a semifinals match that demonstrated Blissey's power, as it made a huge comeback versus his opponents Kyogre and Mewtwo. Alaka fell to Wesley Morioka in the finals, who had brought a distinctly unusual team with primarily physical attackers in Rayquaza, Hitmontop, Kangaskhan, and Toxicroak, alongside the usual Kyogre. Wesley's team was the perfect counter to Blissey, and even though he had lost to Bad Intent in Swiss, he took out both him and Alaka on the way to the win. Nevertheless, after that performance, many players were put on Blissey watch leading up to that year's World Championships in Hawaii. Sure enough, the world's last chance qualifier was filled with Blissey players such as Nina Haza, Len Alaka Duel, and Mike Scarm Papagiannis. What would follow would be a sequence of events that would shake VGC history. All we can assume is that the convergence of so many Blisseys created a massive black, or pink, hole, an event horizon that warped the very rules VGC is built upon. Remember that rule about the overall timer on matches? It finally became relevant here. First, Scarm's match against Alaka took so long that they didn't have the time to play a Game 3 in the 45 minutes, leading to VGC's first ever sudden death. A match where whoever lost the first Pokemon would lose. High stakes, right? So much tension that was immediately cut short as Alaka crit Scarm's Dialga with his Hitmontop and won the match. To follow that up, Skarm immediately had to play Nina Haza, leading to another Blissey versus Blissey showdown. In the interest of retaining their sanity, both players agreed
Wait,
after round one to institute a never-before-seen Blissey clause,
Hitmontop
banning the
one-shot
pink blob from their
Dialga?
battle in the interest of actually being
What?
able to finish their best of 3 in time. Sure, Kyogre might have been the
Did I hear that right?
as Alaka crit Skarm's
Oh my
Dialga
god.
with Hitmontop and won the match. To follow that up, Skarm immediately had to play Nina Haza, leading to another Blissey versus Blissey showdown. In the interest of retaining their sanity, both players agreed after round one to institute a never-before-seen Blissey clause, banning the pink blob from their battle in the interest of actually being able to finish their best of 3 in time. Sure, Kyogre might have been the agreed-upon most powerful Pokemon in the format, but it couldn't pull that off. Skarm would take the win, but finished 3-3. Nina Haza, in the meantime, made it through the LCQ, securing his Blissey team a top 16 berth at the championships. That said, Blissey failed to go much further than that at Worlds. The top teams that year had counterplay prepared for the blob, whether it was Ray Rizzo's Hariyama, Yasuki Tojiki's Infernape, or the rash of Groudons that appeared at the end. The 5th generation brought being able to finish their best of 3 in time. Sure, Kyogre might have been the agreed-upon most powerful Pokemon in the format, but it couldn't pull that off. Skarm would take the win, but finished 3-3. Nina Haza, in the meantime, made it through the LCQ, securing his Blissey team a top 16 berth at the championships. That said, Blissey failed to go much further than that at Worlds. The top teams that year had counterplay prepared for the blob, whether it was Ray Rizzo's Hariyama, Yasuki Tojiki's Infernape, or the rash of Groudons that appeared on players' team sheets in top 8. That said, Blissey was a powerful force in 2010, one that shaped the metagame in powerful ways, even if it didn't manage to shine at the season's very end. The 5th generation brought an absolute ton of special attacking power, with rain-boosted Hydro Pumps, Thundurus, Tornadus, sun-boosted Fire moves, Chlorophyll Sweepers, and above all, many Draco Meteors. As it does, Stall rose to meet these brutal attacks, and as always, Blissey was an integral part of those Stall teams. It was especially good because of the new Wish mechanics. In the previous 2 generations, Wish would always heal a flat 50% HP, no matter which Pokemon used and received the Wish. However, starting in Generation 5, the Wish would heal 50% of the HP of the original user, no matter which Pokemon received it. This was of course incredible when Blissey was using Wish, considering it had the highest HP stat in the game, and could thus often heal its teammates to full no matter how low they were. For example, its max HP stat was more than double that of Ferrothorn's, so even if Ferrothorn received Blissey's Wish at 1 HP, it'd go back to full health. However, it wasn't just Blissey anymore. Thanks to the addition of Eviolite, Chansey became even bulkier than Blissey on both sides of the spectrum.
Yep.
It was absurdly bulky. For example, not that you'd want to take one, but it survived a Terrakion close combat. However, Chansey wasn't directly superior. Not having the passive recovery of leftovers hindered it in sand. It also had a slightly smaller Wish, although that wasn't really too big a deal since it still had exactly double Ferrothorn's HP, meaning it also always heal it back to full. Anyway, as a result of the passive recovery and sand conundrum, Blissey found itself on Sandstall teams and Chansey found itself on Rainstall teams. Both were excellent, as unkillable as ever. At the beginning of the generation, Psyshock received hype for being a special attack that hit the opponent's physical defense stat, a move seemingly tailor-made to ruin Blissey, but the move was inconsistent for its uselessness against Tyranitar, Steels, and bulky ground types. So it ended up not being used much, especially since the move also did nothing to Chansey. As a result, Blissey managed to handle Latios and Alakazam reliably after all. Now, the Blob duo were critical parts of most of the best Stall teams throughout Black and White 1, but Black and White 2 ruined that. This was single-handedly a result of the newcomer Keldeo becoming the tier's new premier special attacker. Keldeo took the Psyshock idea of a special attacker
Keldeo can kill
even further with his
Blissey.
signature Secret Sword, which was super effective and thus ripped the 2 blobs apart. There was no room for Blissey on Sandstall anymore. There just weren't enough slots to include a Keldeo counter and Blissey, so Sandstall adapted to using Pokemon like Celebi, Amoonguss, and Latias as their special walls instead. It was an abrupt end to its time in OU, as it more or less disappeared instantly. Chansey was a little better off, as its sheer bulk made it less replaceable on Rainstall, but Rainstall as a whole could not keep up with Keldeo for too long either, as once it started using choice specs and substitute call mindsets, they were toast. So Chansey wound up being just as unusable as Blissey, just by association. At least at first, as the Blob's team styles both wound up more or less unusable for more reasons than just Keldeo. The metagame got stronger and stronger with focus on other threats such as Thunderous Therian and Technician Breloom, which were hugely threatening on their own and downright impossible to deal with in conjunction with each other. The meta also became more resilient to hazard damage with a renewed focus on Calm Mind Reuniclus and its Magic Guard, which was the final blow to Stall. Neither Sand nor Rain Stall could keep up with these traits, and as a result, both Blissey and Chansey went more or less extinct, save for the occasional player experimenting with a team that would prove to be a one-off gimmick rather than a consistent metagame staple. It was strange, as Black and White became the first OU metagame in history without a blob that was worth anything more than a gimmick. However, the 5th generation was unprecedented in more ways than one, so in that sense, it was fitting. We have a few small notes to add. First, in early Black and White 1, when players used to DPP were still defaulting to Blissey even on Rainstall, Chansey wasn't used that much, and thus fell to UU. Despite cries to ban it resounding throughout the player base from day one, it actually lasted quite a while, and only left the tier because it naturally rose up to OU from its usage on Rainstall. Then, several months into Black and White 2, its usage was low enough from the lack of stall that it dropped back into UU. However, this time it was instantly voted out of the tier for its profoundly negative impact on the metagame's landscape. It was absurdly difficult to KO, shrugging off every attack imaginable and providing incredible support for its teams. It walled Mamoswine of all things. The dual Eviolite combination of Chansey and Gligar was simply absurd, and nobody was sorry to see the Chansey half of that core go.
Second, the Blob's return to Ubers, especially Chansey, since the prominence of Groudon's Sun and Kyogre's Rain meant it wasn't getting passively chipped.
And its superior bulk was key in thwarting massively powerful newcomers like Reshiram, as well as old standards like Kyogre and Palkia. Ubers became so hazard-oriented so fast that Chansey quickly wound up being little more than dead weight against the armada of Ferrothorn that ruled the metagame, and the growing popularity of Sand teams made things even worse. However, it was given a second look once Black and White 2 came around, as Chansey was one of the few Pokemon capable of staving off the devastating choice specs Kyurem White. However, the hazards problem persisted, with even Palkia using Dragon Tail to just completely nullify Chansey as an answer, and Chansey fell off once more. Still, while Stall generally wasn't very good in Gen 5 Ubers, on the rare occasion a player wanted to experiment with it, Chansey was usually a staple, while there were a few Blissey Sandstall teams as well. Overall, the 5th generation started off well for both Blobs, but over time, things got too rocky for them to remain consistent. Blissey took a necessary year on the bench in 2011, as it wasn't included in that year's Unova-only format. But when it got a chance to return in 2012, it now had to contend with its younger sibling as well. However, Chansey brought a whole new kind of devilish fun to the table. Two kinds, actually. First was the pairing of Chansey with Guard Split Shuckle. After a Guard Split, the Blob's sole defensive hole was nicely patched up, allowing for such disgusting feats as living 5 Terrakion close combats. Chansey's other form of extremely annoying setup was another strategy only possible in VGC, minimize spam, taking advantage of the fact that VGC has no evasion clause.
After 3 minimizes, Chansey sits at 66% evasion.
Combined with its already bonkers bulk, good luck breaking through that. One could even use Defense Curl as well, which has the added benefit of PP stalling better than almost any other move due to its 64 uses, or you could pair the Minimize and Shuckle strategies for a combo that was sure to make at least one opponent want to rip their hair out. That all sounds incredibly frustrating, and it was, but it still wasn't extremely good. Such teams were usually found in online best-of-1 formats, as the great weakness to the setup was that, well, it was so setup reliant, something that is hard to make consistent in VGC. A Chansey team was almost always centered on one of these gimmicks, and in a best-of-3 format, players could prep accordingly with Taunt, Sleep, a physical attacker, or whatever other trick they might have up their sleeve. The strong fighting types in Gen 5, as well as Prankster, Taunt, Thundurus, were just a few of the countermeasures that could easily stop Chansey. But most importantly, Black and White introduced the 15-minute match timer, which absolutely destroyed Chansey strategies. Although Chansey would probably inevitably win out in terms of HP, it couldn't consistently build that advantage before the match timer was up, meaning the Chansey player could have their win cut short. An intelligent opponent would timer stall when seeing Chansey to make sure it wouldn't have enough time to work its nefarious deeds. Remember what I said about Blissey warping the rules? Yeah, this was the result. Chansey could still be a thorn in one's side on Pokemon Online or similar battle simulators where the timer didn't apply the same way, but it was still far less of a nuisance at in-person events. As such, Chansey didn't quite make the grade at any big competitions. It was just something you had to be prepared for in the rare situation you went up against it. Continuing with their trend of popping up just often enough to make people think of them before falling asleep at night, Blissey had a handful of 2013 appearances. Dallas B made top 8 at Utah Regionals with a Blissey alongside other off-meta picks like Haxorus and Cloyster before falling to the other Ha brother, Dewey. Also, Jennifer Custodio was able to make top 4 at her first ever regionals in the seniors division at Pleasanton. And with that, the Blobs closed out Gen 5 before falling nearly entirely dormant for X and Y VGC. Given how it relied on its Eviolite to not be outclassed, Chansey didn't like Gen 6 buffing and thus popularizing knockoff. But beyond that, it had a strong return to OU form. It enjoyed the addition of defog, meaning it was more difficult to overwhelm with hazards. The lack of permanent sand digging into it was also a huge blessing and allowed it to make full use of its bulk to stave off the metagame's many menacing monsters, mainly Mega Charizard Y, as it was the only Pokemon in the game capable of taking its drought-boosted Fire Blast without crumpling to its coverage moves, Stealth Rock, or Pursuit. The many free turns Chansey got from the many Pokemon it walled made it an excellent user of Stealth Rock, especially as it was not easy to threaten it out with defog users like the Lottie twins. Thus, Chansey could easily outstall their defog PP, getting rocks up over and over. Chansey was an irreplaceable pillar of stall throughout the generation, from the style's early days of mixed results in XY to its streaks of dominance in Oris. Chansey was always there, staving off threats from Volcarona to Volcanion and everything in between. However, it was not doomed to be a hard stall-specific Pokemon for eternity. Eventually, players started experimenting with Chansey on different kinds of teams. The idea of Chansey offense started out as a joke, but proved itself to be a legitimate team style. With all the dangerous Pokemon in the metagame, offensive teams were not left wanting for pressure, but they often struggled to switch into attacks from opposing offensive Pokemon. Thus, they loved being able to fall back on Chansey easily against so many of the metagame's offensive juggernauts that would otherwise be immensely threatening. An enormous list of threats including Heatran, Volcarona, Thundurus, Manaphy, Nidoking, Volcanion, Hydreigon, Kyurem Black, Mega Gardevoir, Latios, Mega Charizard Y, and both regular and Mega Alakazam. Being able to counter them so heavily was a massive boon for an offensive team, as was the solid sponge against Specs, Keldeo, Scald, and Hydro Pump, though Chansey of course had to watch out for Secret Sword. The offensive teams also enjoyed Chansey's support capabilities. Besides being a reliable stealth rocker, it could also spread Thunder Wave to cripple would-be switch-ins like Mega Metacham and Mega Heracross. Spreading T-Wave made Chansey's offensive teammates far more dangerous, opening up opportunities for menaces like Substitute Serperior and Choice Band Tyranitar. Chansey didn't become the most splashable Pokemon on offensive teams or anything like that, but it was a legitimate option that anchored several strong tournament-successful offensive teams. The playstyle where Chansey really made its mark was on more balanced Spikes teams. Harstall sometimes had a hard time keeping up with the metagame's fast pace, since its Pokemon were slow and unable to hit back, meaning they struggled to play their way out of bad matchups, which were not difficult to come by given the amount of threats in Oris. By surrounding the Skarmory Chansey, or Skarmchans, defensive core with faster, more offensive Pokemon like Keldeo, Tornadus Therian, Scarf Landorus Therian, Mega Metagross, Mega Diancie, Mega Latios, Mega Lopunny, and both regular and Mega Alakazam, players were able to reap the benefits of Skarmchans' defensive utility while not being entirely 100% reliant on them and other defensive Pokemon to handle everything. They could strike back with their own offense. This made them more consistent. Even hard stall teams took their cue from this idea, making use of Pokemon like Scarf Magnezone, Scarf Tyranitar, Dugtrio, and Choice Band Weavile to reinforce the integrity of their defensive core with fast trapping. Once this potent style of strategy was discovered, these teams became immensely difficult to deal with, leading to the bans of Mega Sableye and Dugtrio as a result. However, Chansey Spike's balance remained an incredibly strong team style. Overall, Chansey was an incredible Pokemon in Gen 6 OU, and for the first time, it fit on many different playstyles, not just stall. So you're wondering, where was Blissey in all of this? For the first time in history, it dropped to UU. Many players cried that it was a sign of the apocalypse, while others felt old that they had been around long enough to witness such a previously unthinkable idea come to life. As it turned out, it was an excellent Pokemon in UU, but it did not bring about the end of days. Blissey did Blissey things. It firmly walled top-tier special attackers like Hydreigon, Kyurem, Nidoqueen, and Mega Sceptile, provided excellent support with Wish, Thunder Wave, Heal Bell, and/or Stealth Rock, and was once again an integral part of stall teams. Blissey's viability and usage waxed and waned in accordance with stall's place in the metagame. The style ranged from quite consistent inconsistent and brutally difficult to deal with, to struggling against specific anti-stall threats like Substitute Calm Mind Chandelure, a special attacker that Blissey could not stop at all. Eventually, the style's efficacy settled into a sort of middling position where it was not the most consistent, dominating playstyle, but was still solid overall. As such, Blissey's usage was similarly middling. It was still an effective Pokemon overall, it just didn't tend to get enough help from its supporting cast. Perhaps it should have been explored more on different archetypes, although that is of course easy to say with the gift of hindsight. Blissey outclassed Chansey in Ubers this time around thanks to its ability to run Shed Shell as an item. This was critical as it allowed it to escape from Mega Gengar's Shadow Tag. It was a crucial part of stall teams, performing a number of important functions. Its Wish support was immensely useful for the recovery-lacking Primal Groudon, and its Heal Bell support was crucial for shrugging off Toxics. It ate up every non-fighting Calm Mind Arceus form, especially with Snatch to Ruin refresh attempts, which also prevented Xerneas from setting up on it one-on-one. Threats such as Geomancy Xerneas, Primal Kyogre, and Mega Mewtwo Y were often too powerful for Blissey to handle on its own, especially without leftovers, but between its bulk and ruinous Toxic, it was amazing at helping play around them, as well as other threats like Yveltal and the Lottie twins. It also found many opportunities to switch in and provided support against other common supporters that couldn't hurt it, such as Dialga, Giratina Origin, and Defog Arceus. With the help of its old friend Skarmory to stave off Mega Salamence, Blissey could be quite irritating in the right matchup. Overall, Aura's Uberstall tended to be an uphill battle. It was a struggle to pull off consistently thanks to the sheer power of the tier, but when it was used, Blissey was a crucial component of it. Gen 7 OU saw Chansey's utility skyrocket even further, as it was capable of standing in the way of brutally powerful Pokemon such as Heatran and its Inferno Overdrive, Choice Specs Tapu Lele and its Psychic, and most importantly, nearly everything from Magearna in both Battle Bond and Protean Greninja. It wasn't an ironclad answer to those Pokemon, of course, as there had never been a metagame with more ridiculously powerful offensive options than the terrain and Z-move infested landscape of Sun and Moon. However, its ability to cover or at least check many of the metagame's topmost threats that most other Pokemon would outright crumple to, such as the aforementioned and others like Mega Latios, Mega Charizard Y, and Mega Alakazam, was invaluable and lent its team a sense of stability often elusive in Sun and Moon. As always, it was a cornerstone of hard stall throughout the generation, from the early days with Dugtrio, pre-ban of course, to the later days alongside Mega Aggron. It even received a new toy in the form of Confide, whose special attack dropping effect allowed it to take on major stall threats such as Substitute Calm Mind Blacephalon, Calm Mind Pain Split Magearna, and Calm Mind Reuniclus. However, once again, Chansey was not relegated solely to stall. Chansey offense became better and thus more popular with the many stronger Pokemon to surround Chansey with, such as Kartana and old Pokemon abusing Z-moves like Landorus Therian. These Pokemon loved Chansey's ability to stave off many of the terrifying offensive Pokemon, namely Greninja and Shift Gear Magearna, that would outspeed and tear through them. The style was significantly improved on both sides of the offensive-defensive spectrum as a whole in Gen 7. Chansey didn't just enjoy walling opposing Greninja though, it loved partnering with it, as Gren provided the all-important spikes without easing up on the offense. Thunderwave's nerf in the 7th generation saw Chansey start to explore different options for its last move slot, and to great success. Wish was the most popular, as it allowed Chansey to use the many free turns it generated to heal up a teammate, making it more difficult for the opposition to break through its team. Toxic was always a decent option, being able to cripple something like Zygarde or Tapu Bulu. Incidentally, Chansey loved Bulu's presence in the meta, as grassy terrain provided the passive recovery it so longed for. Anyway, some players even used Healing Wish as Chansey's last move. It wasn't sacrificing itself for its teammates on a game-to-game basis, but being able to do so provided unmatched flexibility in any given battle. Once again, Chansey was a top-tier OU Pokemon, excellent on stall and offense alike. Blissey returned to UU with a vengeance. Even in the face of Z-moves and other power creep in the form of Scizor and Latias dropping to the tier, it absolutely dominated. It staved off a ton of dangerous threats: Hydreigon, Primarina, Moltres, Mega Houndoom, and so many more. It formed a nearly unbreakable defensive core with Alomomola and Quagsire, who reliably staved off the physical threats Blissey couldn't handle, and were helped out even further by a Violite Gligar, ensuring even physical beasts like Z-Terrakion would not be breaking through. Speaking of Gligar, increased access to Defog made it easier than ever to keep hazards off the field, which made Blissey even more comically difficult to break. The only way to reliably handle stall was to use Pokemon like Haxorus that were significantly worse against the rest of the metagame, and even that wasn't always a guarantee. Stall didn't just make team building incredibly strenuous, and thus cause a lot of matchup wins, it was considered by the majority of the best players to be outright broken. This was in large part due to Blissey, whose unwavering ability to take on even monsters like Nasty Plot Z Celebi left most players dumbfounded on how to beat it. It was usually safer to just use stall rather than risk losing to it. Blissey was so ridiculous that it could even stay in and land a toxic on something like Nasty Plot Phytinium Z Infernape, since it wouldn't be O-code without a boost. This put the stall breaking threat on a timer and usually ensured the stall team would come out on top, as even if Infernape did immediately use all-out pummeling, Blissey would find an opportunity to heal later against something that couldn't hurt it, or would just have its health restored by Aloma Mola's wish. Several top players wanted to neuter stall in some capacity because of how seemingly impossible it was to beat, let alone beat it reliably, and most players pointed to banning Blissey as the solution. No action was taken, and stall continued to have a stranglehold on Gen 7 UU, largely off the strength of the immovable Blissey. Blissey reprised its role in Ubers, fortifying stall teams against several dangerous special attackers and supporting its teammates with Heal Bell and sometimes Stealth Rock or Wish, while using Shed Shell to escape Mega Gengar. Its special bulk was so heavily relied on that for the first time in history, it didn't use max defense EVs. That had been a requirement on every Blissey ever since manual split EVs were introduced in Generation 3, as it turned Blissey from 2-KO'd or O-code by every physical move to surprisingly resilient on the physical side. However, in Gen 7 Ubers, it couldn't afford that. It needed every ounce of special bulk it could get, especially without leftovers recovery. To its credit, besides being unable to handle Psyshock Lunala, this didn't hold it back from doing its job, and it did make most of the absurd amounts of special bulk. With the addition of Confide, it was able to slow down even Geomancy Xerneas, as well as fully countering substitute Calm Mind Primal Kyogre. Confide also stopped Calm Mind Arceus forms effectively. Once again, Blissey was an integral part of Uber's stall. Come Sun and Moon, the pink